I walk over to him.
Okay.
And I'm tired of watching this. And I slice his throat. And you die with honor. And I keep sawing for a little bit, just so I get the head out. And I hold the head up above.
Blood everywhere.
For you! For you!
Creatures of flesh, now you shall hear the words of the emissary of the Maelstrom. Are you the one who has polluted this holy place with the machines and their wretched city?
No, but I just came back from destroying a machine city, and I think we want the same thing. I also hate pollution.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
+5 respect
15.
for Eco Warrior faction.
I'm Green Party, man. I'm Green Party. Please.
Save the turtles, bro.
Save the turtles.
You know, you might be about half as capable of taking sword hits as me, but I will say you did a good job making sure we didn't lose the gun.
Yolalair does a hearty laugh and he goes, "And you, my friend, are purple," and then immediately falls asleep.
Alex melts away and vanishes, replaced by Cyrus.
In handcuffs?
Yes. Yes.
Taking a turn.
He...
Except that his eyes are wrong. They're filled with piercing blue light.
Oh damn, my stream is about to get good.
got blue eyes too?
I take a closer look, but do not touch it.
Again, it's about yay big, beautifully carved, smells like fresh cedar. Like it's very aromatic with that almost sweet wood smell, and clearly hand carved, handcrafted.
Oh my God.
The lid slides off. It's carved into grooves on top of the box.
Could be a mirror in there.
Okay, who did that?
My bad. I just
Who
saw a
did
card. I thought it was cool. I was not supposed to click that.
This is why we don't let you drive the car.
It was just like, cool, there's cards.
And it was the void too. That's like,
Oh. Yeah, that fire, we dodged it. Ariana didn't. But that's why we all woke up. So...
Dragon's fire.
dragon. Okay, you talked to the dragon?
Oh yeah, that guy sucked. He just kept wanting us to say his name and open the big bad door and he's gonna destroy the world and kill anyone we ever want. But I won't. I can kill anybody I want. I don't know what some statue's gonna do, but and he doesn't even know his own name. Boomer much? But anyway, so like But you've slain dragons before. If you can do it, and then
These are the dragons of the world before.
So that's great. I honestly don't get to talk that often. People don't really get to hear what I have to say. And let me tell you, I got a lot to say. I got wouldn't even believe. I see a no one even pays attention to me. I'm just up in the trees doing my own thing. Except for Hootie. Hootie! Holy that dude. He got some that he wants to tell you. I'll tell you right now. Oh my gosh. That bird's got mouth on him. You think I'm like this? Oh my goodness. If looks could kill, that bird would be the most dangerous thing in this entire forest. My God.
Think so.
Oh my God! It's hot! Oh, I'm gonna stop you so. Oh, it's so hot! I don't like this at all.
Genuinely scared.
Genuinely what?
Scared, right?
My apologies. Garnet, why does Merrick have authority over the tribes of Okarthal? How can he manipulate them?
DM question. What's the tribes of Carthel again?
The
That's
dragon
right.
tribes,
No.
the 10 dragon tribes.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not very lore versed, okay?
No, that's fine, that's
20
fine.
Inch, by the way.
By the way, Merrick's a dragon. One of it. Oh yeah, the dragon tribes.
Oh yeah, okay. The math is not mathing up right now.
And the Marid, this genie, shouldn't be able to arrive here. Ioth Academy is still technically protected by the dome, even if it's weakened. But it caught... I know, yeah, most protected place on Earth. Been attacked 12 times this year. Sue me.
Yeah. Safe. Smile.
Exactly. Any safers in chat? But the Marid essentially hitchhiked on that pole of magic. When the water elemental came up, it sort of followed along with it. It drafted behind it, and that's how it was able to arrive. And there's your natural 20.
I just like the part where you say you came down a pole. I just stuck to that. Elemental strippers! Fuck!
Can I get fan art of Duba pole dancing, please? I'm going to file a request for that.
Duba Queen.
Duba cheeks!
Hi.
Okay, describe this devil's fate at the claws of Slobber Chops.
He gets like whipped around, lands on his head, still like conscious and alive. Slobs just starts like going at his ass, just like and just disembowels him.
Oh.
Like, I imagine the camera pans away and you hear a sound like a wood chipper. And you just gore spewing off to the side. It's like somewhat,
And then-
discretionary shot, but everybody
His
knows
legs
it's
are like,
And then Slobber
"Gah!"
Chops' face comes up into the screen, covered in gore, and it just does the one lick, the one like aggressive face lick. Yep.
I hate exactly what it is. I hate everything I stand for.
They call out to her in Draconic, and she responds.
Wait, do I also see Sventisco for a brief second through the orb?
Roll a perception check. No, you just see this guard walk out.
What do they say to her?
You been there the entire time?
No.
And she got a natural 1, and she says, Sventisco. I mean, no.
She says her own name like a Pokemon.
Yes.
Oh no.
I need everybody in the room to roll for initiative.
Oh.
Damn, that's so
Watch your
rough.
girlfriend. Shit.
That's, she got a natural 1. I decided she just freaking panicked.
She's trying her best, okay?
And she rolled a 2
Don't
on the
make fun of
initiative,
her.
so she sits there like an idiot.
So as we just burst through the door, like, while you're meditating.
Honey, I'm home. Knock, 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 knock.
It's goofy time.
Blood banging the door. Mason like about to wrap up, just like opens his eyes, like side eyes the door, sighs. Gets up, answers the door. Oh,
So what did
hello?
you mean by you told me to be help? Just immediately starts. You told me to be helpless, right? That didn't really work. But then you said you like Sventisco because she's so independent and confident, knows what she wants. I'm like that. Why don't I have a Mason? Not you, but like a Mason.
A boyfriend is what she means.
Yeah, someone like a guy who likes that.
Good morning. Do you want to? You want to come inside?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Quiet down. Are you guys dating? Are you guys a thing?
Mason doesn't respond.
Time and place, Garnet.
Wait, Sventisco saying that?
Yes.
I mean, a maze is quite a romantic date, right?
Mason, you saved her. Oh, see, like Mason's the one who did all the work. These are like his dogs, and he let us here, and he really was so worried. And we fought this big thing earlier, and Mason was just so cool.
Oh my god, the vouch.
Thank you for the Lambo.
Roll to vouch. Persuasion or deception, your choice.
Mason will try to say some of those things are true.
Yes, yes. By the Sunrider's grace, yes. We're all okay.
Well, I can take a look at the oven for you and send a message to Athalor, like, and kind of elbows him a little bit, like, to basically, like, vouch. Just right, Athalor. I'm really,
Yeah, she's
good with ovens.
fantastic with ovens. Like I've seen so many ovens fixed by Garnet. Honestly, like I didn't even know there were that many ovens in my school, but she just materializes them, fixes them, and sends them away. It's like she has a remote oven repair shop.
You didn't have to do that much detail.
Wow.
Athalor.
Really? That's so interesting. Tell me more about ovens.
What is this, a dialogue tree?
Tell me more about ovens. Tell me more about oven repair. I don't want to talk about ovens anymore.
Tell me about curries. What about Una?
What about it? What about him?
You think we could get drunk?
My familiar drunk?
Maybe. Sorry, I'm just contemplating all the possibilities.
So you have a horn that gets you drunk?
Yeah, we should. Well, stares at DM. Just is there other plans?
About those plans you had, I hope you've got a good drunk Una voice.
Look, it's up to you to just go for it. Underage drinking, why
I'm
not?
mostly kidding. I'm mostly kidding.
Ooh, addition.
Hunting horns, strength to the predators, woe to the prey. All right, that means somebody has to assert their dominance to gain an advantage. Whoever doesn't is we call that the Alexander bookmark.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
All right.
Got a stick at the book.
Thank you for ruining the subtlety of that entire moment. Just flat out saying it.
I remember leg day saying it. It's just so funny.
Oh god,
To
editing
clear the
that.
air. There's
So funny.
no dick in the book. Just to clear the
I mean,
air.
he has his
No dick
back.
in the book.
Well,
Just
he's-
two
he's got
vague,
the book back.
sweaty stains.
Walking to Alex's area, it's gonna be.
No wonder he went
God.
and stole it.
Yeah, I needed it back.
Yeah, I
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this late-breaking news. 8-episode miniseries Ioth Academy is now continuing into its 163rd episode with no signs of stopping. Rumors have it that the Dungeon Master's demands have yet to be met, and therefore he is keeping the remaining cast hostage. We'll have more for you as this story develops. I'm Tormented by Gnomes. I'm your Game Master. This is our Magic School 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign, Ioth Academy. I'm
I
currently
used to
joined
have
by...
that on my Go XLR soundboard, and I was like, did I just fuck up, mate?
Like, who just shot post? Who just shit posted? Shot posted. I got Cohen and I got Leg Day. Cohen, how's it going?
Keeping us on our toes. Keeping us on our toes. No, pretty good though. I started playing Elden Ring for the first time recently. After not playing many Souls-like games, and I'm enjoying it so far. But
The only Souls. No, finish. I don't want to cut you off.
That shit's hard sometimes. That shit, it's a little hard.
The only FromSoft game I've played is Dark Souls, and I went in and I picked the deprived build without knowing what I was doing at all. It was not a good experience, and it was self-inflicted. But I think about Elden Ring all the time. All the time I think about doing it. Legs, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, my dip into the From Software Souls catalog is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Not a Wii, but it's just the one that came out when I was interested.
Yeah, but you also
was okay.
voluntarily queue with randos in hero shooters, which is, you know, more than FromSoft
It's
hard.
true. Like my Elden Ring is actually the 7th ring of hell, where I just decide that playing multiplayer and competitive modes by myself is a good idea.
Yeah.
Not to be trusted with major decisions.
No. Your Honor, League of Legends.
Oof. Guilty.
Death. Lemon should be joining us. She's currently being gainfully employed, which we will never ever begrudge anybody here. In our last episode, the Dungeon Master was fairly fried. You talked to people and you worked on things. Do either of you remember exactly what happened?
I remember midding up my athletics rolls.
Midding it up, yes. Accurate.
Oh, we went to the Golden Bow. And we met one of the mask wielders.
Yeah, slightly important. That's right. Slightly important. You met.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
then another mask wielder contacted Garnet too.
True.
The Green Rune mask.
Yeah, the Green Rune mask, and the one that you met. I don't think he's mentioned what mask he wears. I don't remember if he has, but you actually
bone mask.
It was the bone.
Okay,
yeah.
he did say that. Gave you a teleportation circle, which leads to his vacation home in Gior, which is one of the places you could choose to visit to learn necromantic lore. Garnet got yeeted out of the Golden Bow again by Milo for speaking in void speech.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been a hell of a couple of weeks, so I don't remember anything else. Thank you for the refresher.
Yeah, it's been a few gameful employment weeks, so the brain is all over the place.
It is. It is. In the best possible way. Lemon should be joining us later, but we rejoin our heroes at Ioth Academy on the 16th of Zelok, the month dedicated to the Four Winds. No, to Sirocco, the month dedicated to Sirocco.
Zelok in.
XALC. XALOC instead of, it's not Zalar. I guess it's Zalok? I don't know. You know, I should say things out loud instead of just writing them. That's
I mean, hey, it's your world. The first time you say it wrong, that's what it's called now.
Yep.
No going back.
Yep. We are stuck there. In this episode, the thing that I have prepared for you, which sometimes happens and sometimes doesn't, is traveling to Anaram to speak with the Witch Queens. Because of the places that could hold the secrets of spinning a soul back together, Gior, Pola, Anaram, or Tarsalmore, Anaram is the only one that's definitely not hostile. Some of them have questions. Tarsalmore is very hostile. Pola is known to be reclusive and isolationist. Gior, not a lot of contact with Gior, but Anaram has made. They trade with Onderud. They've sent envoys out to the Holdra in the west. Like they play ball with people. So that is what I have slated for the actual thing that we do. But until Lemon gets here, we can just revisit our heroes and see where do we find you two.
Well, I suppose Athalor is swinging his sword around again, for one of them. Doing his best with this big-ass greatsword that's a bit much for a 16-year-old who's not the most athletic guy. He's okay, but not the most beefy. It's definitely not someone who's got, proficiency in martial weapons over here.
Much more of a wiry type than a beefy muscle type. How is his...
I imagine testing Chad's patience.
Chad has a ton of patience, actually. How's his mental? How's his mood?
Athalor is kind of, I'm going to focus it on this because otherwise the voices are going to start making me think about everything else.
Relatable.
If I'm not in this, I'm in everything else, and everything else fucking sucks.
Again, relatable. What about Mason? Where is he and what is he doing?
For Mason, the voices are winning. The voices are there. That's why he's spending a lot of his time either thinking about or doing research into this mirror dilemma with involving Mirror Keeper. So probably his research, like in the library, or like picks out some books and researching what exactly like the properties of glass are to try to next step like recreate that. And a note down that I was going to talk to Puabi about it, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
The Master Transmuter.
Yeah, so at some point, after at least getting the basics down, would probably go take a visit to Puabi and would invite Athlor along if he wanted to come through.
If you get a nat 20 on your Arcana, you get proficiency in glass blowers tools, right?
Puabi's
Surely
more
that's
than
how that
happy.
works.
He's more than happy to have the two of you there. And when you talk a little bit about what it is that you're pursuing, Puabi will think for a moment and then explain slowly. Not slowly like he doesn't think you're going to understand, but just...
Do you speak English, Mason?
He's very deliberate.
You know what glass is?
Here is sand. This is fire.
I mean, actually, that is one of the things that he says, is that if you look at the essence of glass, it's interesting because fire is energy. It's heat. It's the flow of energy. Earth is substance. It's opaque. It's solid. When you combine the two, you get something that is solid but transparent to energy. The energy of the fire is gone, and it makes it so energy can now pass through the earth that's been transformed. So it reveals and clarifies it and changes it so that it can become a conduit for light. In transmutation and alchemical philosophy, the process of becoming glass is often used as a metaphor for attaining clarity, not letting the limitations of the body and the flesh hold back your spiritual progress, but also not simply discarding your body, because it instead of it becoming an obstacle to enlightenment, it becomes the lens by which you perceive things and understand the world anew. So glass has the properties of earth and fire. It has properties of clarity, of transmission. It can have properties of prism, of breaking light apart, and properties of truth and revelation. And it can have properties of illusion and deception if it's warped or distorted, depending on how it's made. So those are some of its more philosophical properties.
Okay.
You are looking for some way to imbue a person with the qualities of glass, right?
Yes, indeed.
Without them spending decades seeking inner peace and meditating on the emerald tablets, I'm guessing.
Yeah, ideally, yeah. Are there any spells that have to deal with like glass so we could like study from that have like some similar properties?
Probably.
I can't think anything on top of my head, but
there's an old spell called Glass Steel that I don't know if it's still in the game anymore.
Oh.
There's
like
a
a
spell
homebrew one called Bones to Glass.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, so there's nothing in Roll20. None of my Roll20 books have glass, much in the way of glass-related magic. There's a lot of other books I have that are not easily searchable with a user-friendly function.
Yeah.
But Puabi's willing to bet. There's an old spell called Glass Steel, and if I recall correctly, it either transforms steel to be transparent, or it imbues glass with the strength of steel.
I've got Deep Magic 2 in my books. I've got 2. I've got Spray of Glass and Ian's Armor of Glass, which is a 6th level conjuration.
The Armor of Glass feels more like what you're looking for, but it doesn't transform you. It conjures this on top of you.
Could we use like the matrices of what the properties of that glass is and like how it's conjured and use that as a kind of way to imbue that into somebody?
Yeah,
mix
I'm
it with
trying to think of what you would need to wombo that with. It's something he can research for you so that you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you'd like.
Oh, the transmuter might think wombo it with something like gaseous form.
True.
Yeah.
True. Gaseous form isn't transparent, so it would still create a mirror clone, but it could be used as a seed
Anchoring
spell
into
as
your
well.
matter.
Yeah. And taking the properties of like changing your matter of that and the properties of glass and combine them in a way that it does both things that you want.
He'll start working on that because it needs to be a spell that transforms that temporarily transforms mind, body, and soul, so that you have all the properties of glass. So there's nothing to be reflected. The reflection effect just passes through you, like glass.
Gotcha. That sounds a little bit more complicated than I was originally hoping or expecting, but that's okay.
This is a good start, though. You're definitely off to a good start. Consult the PDF library after this. All right. This conversation takes a little bit longer than that since he expounds more on the fine details of this magic and the matrices and such. So it takes a bit longer to have that conversation.
Prismatic form incoming in about 6 months.
All right. What else would you want to spend your time doing?
I think for Mason, it's mostly that research. Like, if Puabi wants like help or is willing to accept help, would definitely continue to do that.
Definitely.
So it's mostly what Mantra's mind is on. But besides that, still just doing work in Gildenbridge and hang out with Sventisco and checking with the kids, John, and stuff like that.
All right. A simple farmer tending to your memes. Athalor, what are you up to? If you don't have something in mind, I have something else we can do while we wait for Lemon.
Athel was actually hoping for a update on the current geopolitics situation.
Anything specific or any particular areas? Because stuff is always happening everywhere, right?
Updates on the Ithgans, in particular. The raiding north across that bay into South Ithgos.
Yes. So Ithgos they were able to muster an army that was marched south from the capital, and it took them a while. But they got close to the city of Refikorak, the coastal city that the Menegistans, the priest kingdom of Menegistu, invaded and has occupied for the last several months. As they got closer, the Menegistans did not stay to fight. They took back to their ships and are now sailing home.
Makes sense. Quick hit and run.
Exactly.
News out of Saparziku?
Another thing, the Ithgans are also moving an army towards the Bathotlan border.
Oh, joy.
This does not necessarily mean that they're planning to invade or attack. It could just be that this is a defensive relocation to be ready if something happens, but they have one army heading to Refikorak and one army heading to Batholo. As for the priest kingdom of Saparziku, I believe, aside from the major religious revelation that they are going to be, the mantle of the priest king is temporarily going to reside with, well, the mantle of the North Wind is going to temporarily reside with their priest king, which is a big heckin' deal. There's been a lot of renewed prayer and ritual, magical activity, gathering divine magic, gathering divine power, along with some training and build up. They're not in the middle of spurring any armies off. They're still just sort of like building their way up because of the priest kingdoms. They're kind of less organized than many of the others.
Yeah, they're a bit more fractious, right? They have like different cells for different wings.
They have four gods. It kind of keeps things a little bit messy. The sinister horde hasn't done anything. Nobody's heard from them. They're kind of licking their wounds. the Naramans are confirmed to be evacuating their lands in great numbers.
Mm-hmm. Those that remained.
Yes.
Do we know what direction they're going?
Into the salt wastes of Kara. By the paths that only Sirocco knows. So they're probably
Begs the
headed to the lands
question, the Dune Rider reconstruction, how are they doing?
Okay. The war took a toll on them. I think Brontha actually suffered more losses because the warlord of the Sinister Horde, destroyed their entire army. So, yeah, the Dune Riders are still just like rebuilding. They have a formal alliance with Brontha after all those battles that happened. They're trading, rebuilding, gathering their people back together. Their main concern is the Burning Eyes Horde, who got completely just wrecked. And then there was a revolution, and they're under new leadership, and their armies are moving around. And as always, Diffraxis.
Yeah, they never shut up.
Yeah, so a lot of what's going on right now is sort of this. It's not post-war; the war is still going on, but there's kind of a smoke clearing, pulling the bodies off the battlefield. Everybody sort of regrouping and taking a breather before the next phase begins. It is likely that with Naramu evacuating their lands, the Southern Triad will be able to devour those now empty lands.
Okay. Maybe a logistics question here.
Fire away.
How does Ioth Academy recruit wardens?
Most wardens are recruited from graduates who go through the 7-year process that you do. Again, most don't end up so damn high level. You've gone through some unusual things. But oftentimes they'll be training for combat very early. They recruit from the academy pool, though a lot of those end up being war mages instead of wardens. And there's also like a direct warden path where they just train from the beginning at the Tower of War. Those are usually not, child soldiers. Those are usually adults who do that. If they find somebody who's got magical knack and a strong combat trained, etc., they'll recruit them and pick them up. Why do you ask?
Oh, just wondering if there were places where we had to bolster recruitment.
That's definitely something you could do. It would never hurt to do that. The problem with that is that people who make good wardens and good battle mages are hard to come by.
Yeah.
Ioth Academy doesn't have a huge population. Their strength mostly lies in the power of magic. Which is why when they field armies, they try to just blast them with war magic and realm magic so they don't have to stick around and fight for too long.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's if there are realm tasks that are needed to replenish any of our armies, but I assume it's been fairly low casualties so far.
It has, but Untermaler is not satisfied. There has been a major drive to try to bolster their ranks. I can't remember if they hired. Yeah, they've been summoning fire and binding fire elementals in huge numbers. Yeah. So there has been the artificers and the conjurers have been working hard at this, but most of that activity it's not like they tell this to all the students, right? This is the kind of stuff you'd only know if you ask about it. A lot of the focus right now is that when they battled the Windscour Horde, they depleted a lot of the mana reserves. So they've just been focusing on rebuilding that.
Cool.
Roll for me, both of you. Each of you choose history or religion, and roll a check for me.
Okay.
I'll roll history.
12.
9. I'll use my raid inspiration. Why not?
All right, go for it.
See if we can do any better. No, it's meant to be a dumb day.
Yep.
Okay. You have heard just because Anarom's been on the mind, you have heard something about a schism or internal conflict between the Witch Queens. But because you haven't spent a huge amount of time studying them, my chair's pneumatic are giving out, so every so often I just start to shrink. You haven't spent a huge amount of time studying them. They're not nearly as isolationist as the Polans, but they still are very mystical, occult. The original meaning of occult is hidden or secret. But you have heard
Is that the one that's surrounded by mountains? Their lands.
Let me see if I can take us to the map. It won't be the good map, but it will be a map.
Well, I also have another map-related question when we get there too.
Oh, good. It's
About-
map time.
Vamp.
It's about where the designer city of Cambrenex is, because I think that's where we believe like Conscare was near.
All right, so keep in mind this map is no longer up to date because I'm keeping everything else on a different Roll20 map, and updating this would be a huge pain in the ass. But let's talk about Anarom. You are here. Anarom is here.
Just a cool 2.5k miles.
Yep. It is far, far, far to the north. It is north of Onderud and east of the Connacht Vale, which is the major home of the Huldra, the Wood Elves. They, to the north, lie the giants, the frost giants of Snorheim, who have been raiders and pillagers for hundreds of years at least. Anarom is in a war with the princes of Terranot. They are all, this whole area is called the Backbone. Like these mountains here. Because you've got a mountain range. These are the Bulwark Mountains that surround the Connacht Vale. And this is the Backbone. And all the cultures that live in these valleys and stuff, these are very steep, alpine, dark northern, coniferous sort of environments. Lots of elevation changes, hills and valleys and mountains, not a whole lot of like flat land. It gets very dark, especially during the winter. It always stays somewhat colder because the shade of the mountains, known for goblins and giants and unseelie fae that lurk everywhere. The princes of Terranot are tribal warlords. So each leader of a given tribe or clan or whatnot is called a prince. Prince this, prince that. They are not super organized. There's no like high king. Deborah normally has a high king way the hell over here. Terranot doesn't. Usually there's one lord, like one prince who kind of just is the most successful warrior and the most charismatic, who gets them all to work together on shared goals. They have the same cultural roots. These three realms, and to a lesser degree Zanunisal, have the same cultural roots of the people who evolved, the culture that evolved living in these mountains. But Terranot used to control these mountains, which are now called Bodengora. There was a people's revolt there. The people overthrew and killed their prince. And they have united amongst each other in veneration of their ancestors. It is a very recent rebellion, only in the last like year or so, I think. Like it's happened during Ioth Academy, the campaign. And the Terranashan princes are extremely unhappy about it. Anarom has long been at war with Terranot, or in conflict with Terranot, because I'll say religious differences, but it's not that clear cut. Anarom is ruled by the Witch Queens. And Witch Queen, much like being a Terranashan prince, a Witch Queen is not a particularly elevated title. Anarom has a lot of Witch Queens. You can be a queen of a village, right? They're ruled by these Witch Queens who commune with the other world and the spirits and the gods and such. And so they are led by this the people there are united by this shared mysticism. Whereas the Taranashans are united by this warrior culture that focuses on the noble bloodlines of the princes. So Taranat doesn't like Anaram because they're just letting these, witches rule them. And Anaram doesn't like Taranat because they lord themselves over their people. So that has been a long cultural clash. And things in the last year or so, the balance of power tilted when Bodhin Gora rebelled. And they killed their priest, and then that sort of ancestor worship spread throughout the entire land. All these mountains and foothills no longer obey Taranat. They've declared themselves independent. When that happened, Anaram immediately made overtures to Bodhin Gora. They might have their own way, their own faith, their own path, but they're self-governed. They're not ruled by the princes. So there has been a war between Anaram, there is now an open war between Anaram and Taranat.
Do we know anyone, either students or faculty, that are from either Aranam or Taranat?
There might be some. I don't know if I know their names right now. I will see.
Okay.
Anaram students? Taranashan students? Anaram, because they have their own magical tradition, there's not as much recruiting. If you take the Red Dragon tribe, the Charir Dragon tribe, they have some of the most powerful natural sorcerers. And they also have their own very strong tradition of teaching sorcery. It's not a formal academy thing. It's much more a master and apprentice style, but it's not a bad education at all. So while Chariran children will end up as students at the academy, a lot of them, when the wizards show up and they're like, hey, your kid's got talent, want to come study at their school? They're like, no, our kid's going to learn from one of the sorcerer kings instead. That's what our people do. Similarly, when they show up in Anaram, they're like, hey, your kid has inherent talent. They're like, no, I'm going to...
We know.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the deal with this lake?
This lake right here?
Yeah, the one with... Yeah.
So this lake is one of the only non-mountainous passageways to and from the Connacht Vale. The Connacht Vale consists of 3 Huldra queendoms. Toomlair, the Summer Queen, who you promised to marry a princess from Toomlair. Lulande, the Spring Queen, and Angren, the Winter Queen. The king of the Huldra only rules this one spot right here. The Huldra king technically outranks all the other Huldra and all the other queens, but rules no lands because they are tied into the land itself. They have a extremely powerful mantle of power, and they use that to repel invaders. There has not been a successful invasion of the Connacht Vale since Snior rode the glacier down through this pass. This lake is the only place that's not completely surrounded by mountains. Therefore, the power of the Huldra king normally lies over it as a thick mist, an impenetrable fog that lies over it. The lake is extremely cold, as befits it shares so much of its surface area with Angren, the Winter Queen. And it's difficult to cross if the king doesn't want you to. However, the Witch Queens of Anaram hold a great deal of respect for the Huldra because game recognized game. They are similarly attuned, even if they go about it in a different way. So there is trade. The Witch Queens will send gifts across the water. The Angren, the Winter Queen, will send gifts across the water. There is travel back and forth there.
And Taranat's border with it is a little bit more frosty.
And it's cliffs. It's very high cliffs. So there are some Taranashans who live right here and will fish in the lake and stuff like that. But they don't normally try to go.
They don't have major porting infrastructure.
Yeah. If you don't go out of sight of land ever, you do not do that. The Taranashans never do that because this lake is more like
It's more like an inland sea.
Yeah. It's like the Great Lakes of Michigan. It's massive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So no naval invasion on the cards. What was it you wanted to know about Crone?
If
Oh,
there
right. The
Anaram or Taranashan students.
Yeah, also the Cambernex designer city.
Yes, that's right. There's one more element here that I'm going to bring up, and then we'll move along.
Sure.
Zan Unicel is ruled by the Red Dragon, the Dragon Emperor, Dar Ibarshan.
Oh.
It is not one of the 10 tribes of Okarthal. It originally derives from the same backbone cultural, ethnic, linguistic group of the whole backbone. Dar Ibarshan is a red dragon who left Charir and traveled all the way across the Araweka Wastes and installed himself as the emperor. And there is a religion, like there are dragon priests. There's this entire like imperial religious worship of Dar Ibarshan in the lands of Zanunasal. They have declared
more North Korea than Scientology.
They have declared Bodengora under their protection. And the war that's going on in the backbone started because Terranot was raiding Bodengora. And Zan Unisal declared war on them because like Bodengora is their protectorate. So that's kind of the situation right now. Anaram and Zan Unisal are at war with Terranot. And there's some kind of internal schism you don't know much about going on in Anaram. As for Cambernex, Cambernex lies to the south of Oryx.
Okay. Oh, right.
We talked a little bit about how Konsker was born in Cambernex, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the tieflings who descended from Imago and from Konsker, when Cambernex, which is the name of the city itself, and it's here built into the mountains of this jungle and these huge volcanoes, and they use the geothermal energy to power things. They use the heat to turn stuff. They use elemental, like they've dug in to get the minerals and stuff. It's a heavily industrialized cluster right here, and then a lot of jungle and a lot of forest. Konsker was born somewhere in this land. And when Cambernex became a thing after the death of Arakura, they migrated north to Oryx. Cambernex is, they have a lot of ocean, and as a servant of the enemy, they do not get a lot of use out of that ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Because Liban doesn't like them. To the immediate south is the Pearl Confederation, a series of islands that are all sort of linked together culturally and exchange and such. They share a border with both Oryx and Charir. So two of the sacred tribes. Remember, Oryx, Orn, and Charir call themselves the sacred tribe. They're one of the big alliances.
Mm-hmm.
So they have hostile-ish borders with Oryx and Charir. No open war, but like everybody knows. Everybody knows it's on site. And they also share a border with L'Aurore province of the Iron Empire.
Oh, it's Iron Empire. Okay. Are they like chill with each other, Cambernex and L'Aurore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally speaking, there has not been a lot of war between Iron Empire designers and Raveners. Raveners are the least reliable. They're the most likely to cause trouble for the other infernal aligned realms, but they are it rarely comes down to full war. Like a Ravener horde might raid, steal food and stuff on their way to somewhere else. They might wreak havoc, but they're not there to conquer. They're like on their way to conquer somebody else. Tillebek doesn't say, hey, go kill the Iron Empire. He says, go destroy this place. Whatever's in your way, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Tillebek's not much of a carer for collateral damage.
Exactly.
And was it, even though Konsker was from Cambernex, Nelarin believed that Konsker is still like around there presently?
Right. As a direct offspring of an infernal, Konsker is effectively immortal. Not invulnerable, immortal.
Yeah.
Could have lived this whole time. And they believe that, Nelarin believes that Konsker's descendants migrated north, but Conscare himself stayed somewhere in these lands. That is what the voices, the mystics, etc. are. The fire is telling her.
Yeah. Okay.
More specific than that, though, not entirely known.
This salient here, is that more navigable than the rest of Cambronex in terms of potential migration paths?
Let's see. This is very hilly terrain.
Hmm. More
And I
defensible then.
believe, I don't remember exactly, but I believe that your hometown was maybe here, Mason. Might have been this one.
Okay.
And a lot of your people ended up near that area. That's why that's your hometown. So I believe the path would have been like over here somewhere. The exact migration path is not mapped out by anybody, because as far as Arx is concerned, one day a bunch of tieflings just emerged from into their land and said, help.
Yeah.
But I do believe canonically it would have been somewhere around here. And they would have mostly settled like these lands around here.
Just wondering, that's a very nerve-inducing salient.
Mm-hmm.
Into a hostile state.
Well, there's, Arx has a fortress here. They have a monastic fortress here overlooking, like, it's got the high ground, it's looking on both sides, and...
Yeah, nearby town as well.
And then for reference, and I apologize, I should actually be dragging you around for this in order to make more sense.
Oh, I'm a nerd. I actually know where everything is. So I'm moving in advance.
Rana and Pola are here. Rana and Pola are here. So Pola, the very, very secretive, reclusive land of mystics who are seeking apotheosis, they are here, and the monastic culture of Rana serves them.
It's a lot of land.
And there's no like records of Conscare that are like widely known, right? The only reason that we figured this out is just from my whole thing, family ties, family line.
If there are any records, I'm trying to think of where they would even be. Like, who might know about Conscare? Because Conscare's existence has been kept a secret deliberately. The only people I can think of would be ancestor or descendants. And it would probably be one of those things that if you didn't know that this name meant something, or if you didn't know that this like reference to a beautiful ancestor meant something, you'd just be like, oh yeah, it's just a story of where they came from. Yeah. So it's not like that would be in Ioth Academy. That information would probably be somewhere in like a little library or an old folktale somewhere in Arx. And the other people who might know would be the Cambronexians.
Yeah,
because whatever culture used to be there it got assimilated. So their records and stuff would no longer be available, but Cambronex would have kept any information that they collected.
This icon south of Mantra's home, is that a city?
That's a city.
And that lies along the potential migration path. Might be a good place to look for a library.
Yeah, or some records and descendants. How long ago were like the first direct descendants from Conscare?
The migration, let's see. I'm trying to remember where it was on the timeline. Because it was before the death of Arakura. Like, I know for sure it was before the death of Arakura. A long time ago. It's been hundreds of years.
Okay.
So it's
been even the present... Even like that present direct line would probably not know too much, or there'd be like, it'd have to be like old records. There would be like, oh yeah, I've heard from my grandmother and great grandmother who learned from their great grandmother. Like,
hey, if those sorts of stories were being told, you would have learned them growing up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the direct line, homie, you made the sandwich.
That's me.
That's you.
But I have like cousins I don't know about, like some other line that diverged at some point. Yeah.
If only we had access to your father.
No, don't know about that one. It's going too far.
Is there anything else
that city called?
I don't know if I have it pulled up. I'll add
we
that
are
to my
really
list of.
testing Gnomes' Gnomes' world building today. That's called Citiana?
So these hundreds of cities around the world, what they all, what's
Urbanexia.
politics?
I need population primary export.
Full history,
Sewage
layout of
system.
the area, economic trade patterns,
Yeah.
what
Date of
topographical map.
founding.
Species of a local marshal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will have that information for you when I have a chance to pull through my archives.
All right.
It's okay, we're vamping anyway, just getting all of the lore out of the way. All of the lore heads.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we're lore heading, I will tell you that the Arawekan Wastes are wide sort of desert scrublands. And the primary culture, now very few places in Anakra are monospecies.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Alfar, Alfar refuges have a lot of Alfar, but depending on where they are, they usually have a mix of other creatures as well. Some Eladrin, migratory wood elves, half elves. There's always at least some sort of melange or mixing. That's really obvious in the dragon tribes, which have a higher population of dragonborn than like anywhere else, but also have a ton of humans and gnomes and etc. All that being said, the predominant culture of Araweka are nomadic, giant centipede riding kobolds.
Oh,
centipede riding.
Yeah, they ride giant centipedes. They build like underground hives and such.
How many kobolds to a centipede? Are we like a bus?
What was that?
How many kobolds to a centipede?
Depends on the size of the centipede. What model are you getting?
I'll get the El Grande.
Do you have like a Class A license or a Class C license? You know,
I've only got a Class A.
But the Arawekans have been in a series of wars over the last year or two because Valgirt province to the north and Loroi province to the south are slowly eating them. And this map is not accurate because they have already annexed some of these lands and some of these lands. It is believed that one of the goals of the various provinces is to connect their lands, is to conquer everything between them so that they can unite in some way. It's unlikely that the Archons will be like, okay, yay, let's play nice, but like we can now build a big road and our armies can march all the way across. So any place that lies between two provinces is a higher than likely target. And Araweka is one of those areas that has been losing ground. Avi to the south, I don't think this map is accurate anymore because this map is definitely not accurate because Vatul province and Brahmas province launched a two-pronged attack trying to accomplish very much the same thing. That was, I don't know, a year ago, something like that.
Such a long
Orgal province to the northwest, Orgal province and Ithgos both waged war on Gluckmore, which is between the two of them. So Acer and Orgal, like there's just this general desire to do a hammer and anvil on any realm that is specifically between two provinces. Everybody is a valid target. Anyone that they want to conquer is a valid target, but those tend to be what they focus on. What else while we're vamping?
Just to note, and it helps for the information you look up in the future. Mantra would look up as much info as was available about that city that was to the south of his home village, and just kind of get all of that background and see if there's.
The one thing I can tell you, like right off the bat,
teleportation
is that
circle
it has a high tiefling population.
Okay, that makes sense.
That one's free.
Yeah, I guess if they all just went up straight out of Cambronex, it was like, oh, okay, here's where we're founding. Here's the city, and just kind of stayed there.
Are Tara not on friendly terms with Ioth Academy?
Taranot doesn't really have much in the way of any communications with Ioth Academy.
Do they even really do diplomacy?
Yeah, they were trade partners with Onderud.
Oh.
But
playing both sides. Good job, Dad.
The witches of the Witch Queens of Honoram, I think they screwed that up. I don't remember exactly what they did. They used magic or trickery or something to sabotage that trade route, and then talk to Onderud and say, "Hey, don't trade with them, and we'll be friends with you. We'll do nice things for you." And they successfully broke up that trade route, so they're no longer trade partners. Taranot is salty about that for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, maybe not a good place for Athalor to go. What did you say your name was? Not under it?
The good thing is that most folk in Taranot would not know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'd be more likely to just be, "Oh, he's a wizard. That's not good. Oh, he's casting spells. That's not good." Then they would be like, "You're from this specific city we don't like." Nobles, princes, they would know. Common folk and warriors would just be like, "Is that our magic? I don't think that's our magic."
Hey, it's a wizard. Get him.
Exactly.
All right. To a library for Mason, I guess.
Their only good place, the only like friendly terms they had was with Onderud. Now they got nothing.
Oh, they really rolled a 0 on the geography, huh?
Prince Stoja, who was the leader of this army that's sort of frozen in time right here because of the war between Zanunisal and Taranot. Prince Stoja was assassinated recently, and her face was cut off.
Uh-oh. It's Doja?
Prince Stoja. I'll spell it out.
Doja. I was like Doja, like Doja Cat.
Yeah. She was like their current person everyone was listening to. And their best commander. And she was killed in a manner that you would immediately identify as the Faceless.
Ooh. Oh, my Chrome is crashing. I wonder if that's something to do with why Video Ninja was not happy earlier.
That would do it.
Chrome in the current year. Omega lol.
What can I say?
I'm still using Chrome.
What are you on these days, Cron?
Well, I use Firefox for Roll20 because I have to, but I use Chrome for everything else still. So yeah.
I currently have Opera, Chrome, and Firefox open.
Wow.
Got the trifecta.
Firefox has my Dungeon Master screen, the Twitch feed, and Streamloots. Roll20 has the capture screen, so what you're looking at right now, and the dice box. And actually, now that I notice it, there's a little gap right there. Let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, that's fixed. And then
your Windows install looking at you not having Edge when you got 3 browsers. It's like, what the fuck do I got to do, man? Come on. I can't even be the Streamloots one, really?
Guess I'll go fuck myself. All right.
Guess I'll die.
Yeah, and Opera's like my Google Drive and my reference spreadsheet and shit. Yeah.
What was I gonna ask? Oh, okay. When you posted in the backstage chat about the projects, what's the Greatsword project? What is that?
That's me
Athlo
learning.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Athlo
Okay.
trying to get good.
Got you. Just lock in, focus up. I get good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a greedy project. Athel loves his portals, though. Well, this one has one of the mother of all portals inside it.
I keep forgetting that the entire point of that is to wield the infernal sword, the frickin' Virgil sword.
The one that's still in the portable hole. It's just chilling there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it out. Make sure it's still there.
Yep,
Who
still
else
there.
has access to your hole, Mason?
Just keep it sheathed so it doesn't cut through the side on accident. All right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to tear a fucking fabric of another interdimensional plane. That would be not good, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
Mason,
Yes.
during your research, something else occurs to you.
Oh.
Glass is not necessarily the only substance with the properties you're looking for.
Ooh, what else is?
Ice can
Oh,
also have
dear.
those properties.
Okay. That makes it easier than when it comes to researching specific spell matrices that have to deal with ice, because there's a lot more of those spells.
Yeah, like look through the Roll20 and stuff, look around for that. And the interesting thing is, and I didn't do this on purpose, the two of them are elemental opposites. Ice is often associated with wind and water. Wind providing, like, removing the heat to freeze it into ice, and glass is associated with earth and fire. So you've got like the four elements split into these two sides, two different potential paths of research. If you can find an ice form spell of any kind, that would be a really easy starting point. You just need to make sure it's perfectly clear.
There is like Investiture of Ice, which like makes your body all like coated in ice. I will take a look. That might be a good starting point, though.
Can't wait to make the Mirror of Agathis.
Actually, though. Well, I guess you kind of, like, from that spell, you gain immunity to cold damage. So definitely your body gets a lot of properties of ice from that.
Ice form spell. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of Elder Scrolls, Skyrim.
Yeah? You want a dragon shout?
I
what is
found a
this?
homebrew spell somebody made.
I might have found a similar one. Is it Form of Ice?
On a World Anvil page?
Yep.
Yeah. Because that is not in any of my source books, I am going to rule that this spell does not exist yet, but could be researched.
Okay. Sounds good. Wait, it looks like very similar to the Investiture of Ice spell.
What level is Investiture of Ice?
Level
level
6. Yeah.
What are the differences?
You're both immune to cold damage. I guess Investiture of Ice has you be resistant to fire, which Form of Ice does not. You move across difficult terrain created by ice or snow without spending extra movement. That's the same. The ground, 10-foot radius around you is icy and difficult terrain for creatures other than you. Radius moves with you. That's the same. You can use your action to create a 15-foot cone of freezing wind extended from your outstretched hand. And on the World Anvil one, it's 30 foot. Yeah, but it's like basically the same spell. And I guess 48 damage, it's more damage. So it's Investiture of Ice is a nerfed version when it comes to that last part, but buffed when it comes to resistance to fire damage.
So the two spells are super similar already. That helps. And as a bonus, if you're surrounded by ice and cold, that would fog up mirrors, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd have this area around you where mirror transit wouldn't necessarily be easy, because when you looked into the plane of mirrors, you saw the whole thing was made of reflective surfaces, aside from like some of the tunnels.
Okay. Yeah, we're cooking.
Things that use mirror magic can jump from one mirror to another, including in the plane of mirrors. So creatures that exist there have a huge advantage. But if you are frosting them over just by existing, that means that you are a buff to anybody who's with you.
Yeah, so then we can do some high magic to power up the like radius of which that the icy stuff is around me, so it fogs up everything when we get to the mirror plane. Oh,
Duration as well.
Yup.
I mean, that might be a great way to stop potential Imago escape in like a boss battle as well.
True. Yeah. You know.
So no jumping.
Interesting. Okay. No, that's definitely a thing to work on. Go talk to Puabi about that. Or was it Puabi?
Yeah, it's Puabi, the master transmuter.
Yes.
So the next thing that I have to add to my list is spell research rules / time. How long will it take? And again, the fact that it's based on an existing spell will make this much faster.
Cool.
It's always easier to mod than it is to build a game from scratch.
Yep.
Okay. What else you got? I feel like one of you might have been about to ask something when I dropped that.
I don't remember. ADHD brain.
I think I was commenting on the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Highly relatable. Highly relatable. Okay, so right now the things that I have to pull up are Anarom students, Taranashan students, city name and details. Let's see. City details. And spell research rules/time. All of which are things I have somewhere.
Yeah. Are Tumblr antsy or are they chill?
Who?
Tumblr, about the marriage proposal. Are they antsy or are they chill?
They're chill. They're waiting for summer. Like,
yeah,
they want to do, you know how in a lot of fairy tales and like War of the Roses, the Tudor style stuff, there's this presentation to the court that happens when you reach a certain age. It's like, you're being introduced to society. You're no longer being sheltered by your tutors and stuff. You're expected to exist as part of the court. What the Summer Queen has in mind is to do something like that with you at the high day of summer, the celebration day of Tomb Lair. It's not like you're going to go there and they're going to say, all right, here's your princess, you're married. It's more like you're going to be presented.
You wanted a princess.
Exactly. I got your mail order princess here.
Hey,
So
you
you're
wanted a
going to-
princess, huh?
Joke deleted, joke deleted, joke deleted. So yeah, there's going to be like a big fancy event, although because it's wood elves, it's going to be elaborate. I don't know if fancy is the right word. And you're gonna go there.
Sure to be involved.
You're gonna meet the queen. You're gonna meet the Traors. So a little bit more of lunch and lore here.
Ooh,
You have the 4 mantles of the 4 queens: winter, spring, summer, and fall. The Fulmore elves are the only ones who live outside of the Vale. And they're the ones who got tricked into warring against the other elves of the Connacht Vale by Neve of the Golden Hair, I think. But each of those 4 queens has a mantle of power. Together, they combine those to imbue the king with an extremely powerful mantle. But then each of the queens has 3 lesser mantles of power beneath them. Effectively, 4 queens, 1 for each season, and 12 Traors or guides, 1 for each month. And those people have an extremely important role in the court as well. Like, who comprises a Huldra Queen's court is flowing and changing. Like, someone might be there.
The seasons.
Like the seasons. Someone might be there just because they're a really good hunter. You know, their social status is a lot more flexible. But the people who have those holy mantles of power, they're like automatic status, no matter what. So you're going to meet her, you're going to meet those 3, you're going to meet whoever they're counting as a princess at the moment. It's going to be a great big hullabaloo. Dress your best, bring your friends.
Nice. When it comes to their understanding of princesses, do they have the same inventive family dynamics that, say, Underwood does?
Yeah. And they do the on-na thing as well. And the mantles haven't changed hands too many times yet, I don't think. Only a few times, because elves are long-lived. And it does not automatically go by lineage. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't have to. So it is possible for somebody who's not in the royal line at all to be chosen as the next spring queen. And nobody saw it coming. It's just like this one person, this one Huldra, it suddenly receives all this power, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, it's the Avatar." Except that they don't have to wait to be born. It just like the mantle descends upon them. So that makes the charts rather complicated. Like, they track who's related to each other, but then also, like, if the mantle jumps over here, Well, now you're on Kelulin Day, even if you weren't before. Like, your family name changes because you're the queen. And so you can have people who count as princesses who are either from like the main line, like actually the children of the queen herself, or from a previous line that were the queen, that had the mantle.
Gotcha.
Does that adequately answer your question?
How long out are we from the peak day of summer when that celebration day is going to happen?
Check the calendar. It's a few months. We're actually fairly close. Like, this was thrown down a while ago, and it's a thing that's actually has a chance of happening. Okay, school calendar. Pulling that up. It is Zelok
the 12th. I lied, I guess.
Why'd you lie? What would you lie about?
I said the 12th.
No. So at the end of this month is Vinder's Day and the Green Gala. For fourth years. You don't count. Oh shit, we should be in the middle of midterms right now. Kind of forgot what the hell stuff going on.
Midterms. Oh, luckily I got all my low intelligence rolls out of the way.
So
is it cheating to wear a circlet of intelligence and do an exam?
The next month is the Sunrider, Zalar's month, and the first month of summer. The month after that is Emberheart, which is the month of Nice. And at the end of that is the high day of summer. So we're about 73 days away from it.
Okay.
Less than 3 months.
I gotta start working out.
You've been doing all this greatsword stuff. That's gotta count.
And proms tomorrow.
Chat asked, because screw it, might as well take questions from chat while we're here. Wasn't the Green Gala for the Sovereign of Stone? Yes. Because Arakura was killed on Vinder's Day. Because Vinder's Day is the day of the calendar furthest from Arakura's day. So it's a memorial for her on the day of her death, which was the day of Vinder's celebration. Part of why he's so messed up.
Is Vinder pissed? His day has been supplanted.
Vinder's pissed about a lot of things. The death of Arakura.
I guess. Yeah, he's not a chill guy.
He was always like tempestuous and stuff, but he was kind of more a friend of mortals before, and then he went full conquest mode. Yeah,
it was post Prometheus Zubsark or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sin has been on the Prometheus arc the entire time. Vinder was on like an Odin arc, I think. He was in his Odin era before.
Oh, congratulations on a completed series. That one must have been a banger.
You are not live yet.
My bad.
That's fine. No, that's totally fine.
Lemon
that's totally fine. Lemon, are you cool with me patching you in? All right. No, not at all.
We were just doing some lore chat.
Well, I guess we do talk a lot of lore during games.
Hi, Lemon. How was your series?
Hi.
I was
it was
being
good.
gainfully employed.
Sorry, I'm late.
You don't apologize for being gainfully employed. We need money to eat food so we don't die of not eating food.
So true.
True.
What did we
Science.
learn? Is there a recap?
So much.
Mini recap? Okay.
So the thing that I was planning on doing with the party today, unless you decide to go off in some completely different direction, in which case I will cope because I can. The thing we were going to do today is a field trip to the Witch Queens of Anaram, who are one of the 4 people, the 4 groups that might have the secrets of life and death that you need to revive the Archmage, which is something that Garnet is now much more on board with, if I recall from last time.
Yeah, for sure.
That being said, if you want to go to Gior instead and drop in on Indrasikar's vacation home, I don't have those maps ready, but I can absolutely theater of the mind that. So if you want to do that completely instead, that's also an option. So I've been talking a lot about like, where's Conscare, Mason's ancestor? Where is Anaram? What is it like? Who are the witch queens? A lot of that background stuff. And then just a whole bunch of geopolitical and lore stuff. And it's 2 weeks till the Green Gala, which you will not be invited to because you're not a fourth year.
2 weeks till a big party. You're not coming.
What
You
the hell? We
specifically.
can still go crash it. All the crashing.
I think at that point would be prefecting it.
Yeah, you want to hang out with the 14-year-olds? Lame.
Oh wait.
Chaperone
we
the
can have
school
our own
dance.
party with alcohol.
Yes.
Music and
Yeah, we can
drugs.
have our own green gala, Blaze.
Yeah, you know, I'm there with the Green Gala.
Even though we're still not allowed alcohol technically.
Culture.
Culture. Definitely not allowed culture.
Yeah, definitely got banned from a bar before I turned 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
President.
Dude, you
So
would
it's
have
in
gotten
here, don't
away with
worry.
it too if you hadn't started talking void speech.
Well, they don't have a sign that says no void speech. They got to be clear on the rules.
Most people don't even know that's a thing.
Freedom of speech.
Like, they're not going to put up a sign. If they put up a sign
My
that said no
rights.
void speech, it'd be the biggest Streisand effect ever. Suddenly people would be like looking up what's void speech, which is a bad thing, Garnet.
Well, freedom of speech. I thought I had rights. My bad.
The First Amendment isn't in effect in the Golden Bell.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, well, no, it's a private
Our
residence. You know, it's private property. It's not a public space. It's not like the public square, and they have the right to refuse service to anyone they want.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Milo, why would you do this?
I'll just trust to someone else. Anyway,
He has his reasons.
we can go on.
Okay. So they talked a little bit with Puwabi. They have a plan for going into the plane of mirrors without being duplicated. They are going to modify a spell so that it turns someone into ice. Because as long as it's like almost perfectly crystal clear ice, they won't be duplicated. So
Wait,
yeah,
all of us are getting turned into ice?
we'll see.
Or
It's
we
a
need
level
to go
6
into a
spell.
mirror plane.
Should be determined.
I'm a not volunteer for that angle. So if we don't all have to.
That's fine.
Can you imagine
We don't all
Zaylar
have to
just
go.
looking through? Okay, she's into void. She's made of fucking eyes. My
damn it.
chosen child is a fuck.
Not the whole fucking mirror part is alarming. Ice.
That's where I draw the line.
I hate that shit.
So, is there anything that you want to do before you go to one of these two locations? Was there anybody you wanted to check in on? So on and so forth. You were contacted by the Green Rune Mask, who hung up on you after you explained why you killed Myrick.
Oh yeah, well, I kind of said for fun, Lamal. What about you? And she
Yeah.
did not like. She did not think that was very funny. But well,
Just
are
hit them
you
with that
mouth
text.
and what? And what? Waves arm.
So you could reach back out to Indrasakar. You could try to get a hold of the Green Rune Mask wielder. And then you can decide if you want to go to Anaram or Indrasakar's winter home.
Maybe try to calm in Dream, but I can wait for like the end of the day. The
Okay, it
figurative
can be the end of the day whenever.
When it comes to the two, I personally prefer Anarom, I reckon.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we can hit that mission first. Because I still need to
Okay.
think about where I am right now. Like, what's going on?
All good. All good. All right. So the trick with Anaram is that their society doesn't work the same way as some of the big places you've been. Like the Priest Kingdom's extremely centralized. The city of Brontha is huge. They've got teleportation circles locked down, all that stuff. Anaram is ruled by a bunch of different, like dozens of witch queens. They're a much more distributed society. Their infrastructure is much smaller, much less built up, much more naturalistic. So I don't know if there is a record of a teleportation circle that you could access. Because when they don't do a lot of teleporting outside their lands, and when they do travel, they tend to go through the other world because they are wise in its ways. So the first order of business is figuring out the best way to get there.
You said they had a working trade relationship with Underwood, right?
Mm-hmm.
We probably look at how they transport their goods. Presumably, they don't carry them from Taranat.
No, they wouldn't. I'm going to pull that up. If anyone else has anything else, please feel free to put that forward.
I assume we have like an otherworld path or something. Given that Underwood is kind of floating between.
Mm-hmm.
So, we haven't done much in the otherworld. Just because it's fucky wucky in there, I suppose.
Everywhere's fucky wucky.
True.
I think they go through Kalulinde, actually.
Oh. Not as direct as I was hoping.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we trying to figure out?
You need to get to Anaram. You are here. Let me go back to the map. You are here. This map isn't 100% updated, but the distances are accurate. And Anaram is here. It's about 2,500 miles away. The distance is less the issue than the fact that there are no on-record teleportation circles. The Academy doesn't have any teleportation sigils in Anaram because the Witch Queens don't really do that.
Are they nice people or not very nice people?
They are not hostile. They are occult. And occult means hidden. So they're reclusive, but they're friendly with the people of Bodengora. They are friendly with the Wood Elves. They're friendly with Onderud. They just like keep quiet into themselves and be very mysterious the rest of the time.
Are they recruiting? Do they actively recruit?
Like new Witch Queens?
Yeah. You said they're a cult?
Roll a history or religion check. All right.
That's our intelligence roller. Let's go.
With a 19, I said occult, not a cult.
Oh, fuck. What's the difference?
Occult is an adjective, right?
Occult means hidden.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Kakaku means plan.
So you made me roll a history just the fucking word checking.
Okay, that'd be funny. I should just do that, actually. Yes,
Sweet. I didn't say that.
No, what I will tell you.
Sorry.
What I will tell you is
that you're mistaken.
Yeah, roll a history check to know that you're wrong and I'm right. The witchcraft is a very vague term. The Academy does not officially delineate witchcraft as a specific type of magic. It's more a word used to refer to certain traditions of magic, less scientific traditions of magic that are somewhere between the arcane and the divine. The Witch Queens likely know magical theory and understand it, but they don't sit around with chalkboards writing things down. They invoke spirits of the other world and talk to them to learn about magic. They perform rituals and ceremonies that aren't just big spells. They're like invoking spirits and nature and things like that. So it's somewhere between arcane and divine. However, with that 19 history check, you know that it can be something you learn or it can be something you're born with. A person who is born with innate magic, but who learns in Anaram, may be a sorcerer or they may be a witch. But either of them could, if they're powerful enough, they could rise to become a witch queen. There are dozens of witch queens. Each one sort of has their own settlement that they rule. And they don't usually sit on a throne telling people what to do and giving out laws. It's just that the people follow them. That's just like the witch queens. They're the wisest. They know what's going on. They have magic. They're in tune with the spirits. Witch queen, what do? They don't tend to hold like a really tight rein on ordering their people to do specific things.
So it's either I think my ideas are either we try to get recruited or get invited there by showing interest in what they're doing and wanting to be a part of it just to learn whatever they know. Or idea two, just kind of offer an exchange of information. You teach us about what we want to know and we'll teach you anything you want to know, which is probably a lot of things since we're allegedly the best school for magic. So I'm sure we know a thing or two, including Void, which I'm sure they've never heard of or may not know of as much.
Truers.
Bit of informational exchange.
Yeah. Untermal can handle that if you want.
Just reach out to him. A trade pact, trade agreement.
So Untermaler handles the specifics of the delegation making contact through official channels. The answer is slightly delayed. And at first, he suspects that it's because of the war. Anaram is at war with the princes of Taranat to the south. The war is not particularly active right now. There are a couple of big battles, and now both sides are just sort of glaring at each other.
Yeah, you cut for a second, but that might just have been UK internet moment.
You're fine now. You were
my kilobits are spinning back up.
My bits.
Hey, we're so back.
We have
so
never
back.
been more back. I'd like each of you to roll either an Arcana or a Religion check for me, please.
Okay, bro. I'm a luck dice that one.
Oh boy. I hope I don't have to make any important rolls today.
Roll the 1, a 2,
I
a
will
4.
circle for everybody.
Okay.
Garnet can have a guidance.
I'm still just thinking about the difference between cult and a cult. So
Yeah.
thinking about this.
It's like counting the letters on your fingers.
OC. Original character. Do not steal.
Adjective.
It means it.
So that is how Untermaler found out that there is currently a religious schism happening in Anaram, which has not happened in a very long time. Normally, all the different covens, all the different crafts, they know that each different type of magic, each different craft is important and has a place. But because of the war, there is now a conflict between 4 different crafts about which way should guide them, which means that they are not acting collectively, which is normally what they do. And so each of those 4 crafts has insisted that you should meet with them because they speak for Anaram.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
we about to cause some shit.
Oh, it's a big politics.
So we're going to go to break in a moment, but I am going to start out by telling you the 4 crafts that are sort of splitting off.
Okay.
Dark magic, light magic, red magic, and green. Green witches, the red witches, dark magic, and light magic. Those are the 4 that have all individually claimed to be them what know things.
Weigh in the chat now.
And further complicating it, just before we go to break, as you're all having this conversation, a raven flies in the window and cackles in a familiar voice as ice starts to spread along the sill where it's perched. And it's carrying in its beak a single piece of straw. And that's where we're going to leave off. We'll be right back.
Gonna feed it.
if at first you don't succeed, you can keep trying until you succeed, I think, is the saying
I'm a
there.
trash cannot, Mason.
No.
I'm a trash cannot.
Garnet. Remember the conversation that we had earlier? I think some concepts can apply here about how, when you're in your own emotions, you feel like you want to do the thing right now, and sometimes you don't want to do the thing at all, and that's right now. But then you have friends or people that
I'm gonna die alone.
No, Garnet, you're gonna be okay. Let's just. Can you take some deep breaths? We can do it together. We can do it together.
Who am I gonna take to the blue gala or whatever fucking color it is?
They're assassins. They're basically ninjas, Dexterity is what they're good at. That said, they don't have evasion. They all take the damage in the face. They're all significantly weakened. And you blow a hole in the side of the tent, and Untermaler is going to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit.
Oops.
Oh, these
fine.
damn kids and their fireballs.
He's fine.
Back in my day, you did 5 minutes of trigonometry to make sure no one was in the blast radius.
Well, you guys didn't teach me that. I was born this way, so.
Garnet said like high fiving. Yes, slay, queen.
Yeah, slay. Actually, slay them.
All right. So he's just standing there minding his own goddamn business when a giant fireball goes off and singes him for 21 points of damage.
Thoras, you know this angel? Vouch for me. We've helped each other.
Thoras does not know the angel, but Thoras is also confused as to what is going on.
As am I. Help me if you can.
Alan, I have not known you much time, but you seem okay.
A rousing vouch. Thank you, Thoras. You remember when I let you borrow my car? You remember when I gave all of that money to orphan children? You remember when when I gave you those spare tickets that I had to that concert?
Thoras does not remember much. Thoras can only remember falling through the sky and looking very cool.
Small girls, just checking.
No, grown men can lift the sword, Garnet.
Well,
Would you like
I
to
could
try?
eat a soul. I could eat a soul like a snack.
I'm more thinking practical terms about swinging this fucking massive sword.
Well, what if
And
it turns them
honestly,
evil?
I'm sorry, but
Evil
your
Chad?
arms are small and noodly.
Excuse Matcha, my arms are not noodly.
Matcha comes walking
Minus
back
2 strength.
from the meeting. He's like, what did I just walk in on?
Oh, Matcha isn't here. Oh,
infernal sword.
Yeah, you open the door. The sword is just like covered with evil runes on the floor on a plate. And you just see Garnet going,
my arms are noodly, right?
Do you
Right,
think you could lift that, Zweihander?
Yeah, you try it.
Your arms aren't noodly, but that thing is pretty big.
And evil.
And apparently evil. What is that?
The wolf, listen.
if you'll allow it.
If you allow it, I like to skin the wolf's head and place it on Mr. Sir Thomas to disguise him poorly as not a cow.
You're just making him wear stinky skin.
Like a mask. Like a mask. Mask off. Fucking mask off. Yeah, like that. It's so close.
It's a were-cow. Okay. You can certainly try. We're gonna go ahead and leave you cheerfully peeling the face off of this dead wolf so that you can stick it on your cow's head. And I'm gonna just drop that mental image with everybody.
It's more about what we're going to accomplish. I think this is, it's beyond just me. I'll be okay.
It is beyond us.
Taps Mason's shoulder and Well, our last friend died, but I'll make sure you don't.
Our last two friends.
Oh, sorry, 2. Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
I'm
But you're
going
different.
to.
You're built different.
I'm going to take that as it was supposed to be comforting. So thank you, Garnet.
Now this is a story all about how I got kicked out of the Golden Bough. I've got a nasty little temper. Whenever I'm annoyed, I poke holes in the world with the power of void. All the Brogans call me blessed child, think I'm hot shit, but at best I'm mild. The world in grave peril, but I don't really care, because I'm too busy with my love affair.
Oh shit.
Scrunches up her paper. Fucking hate this school.
Oh no, Garnet, he's got fire bars.
Do you have fire resistance? Because you're probably dead after that one.
And now you're alone, just like me.
Get voided, moron.
Oh, excellent drawing.
Can anyone read these runes?
I don't speak primordial.
It is easy to see it more accurately from outside of the situation than inside of the situation. I
Right.
suppose that's why you have the friends that you have around you.
Kind of like claps her hands together. One of my favorite sayings is trash can, not trash cannot. So just do it.
Didn't realize your level up gave you an extra level in philosopher.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
I honestly have very little confidence in saying I understand what you mean by that.
Okay. Just do it.
Understandable. Have a nice. They were on their way to find Sig, Ariana's tutor, the head of magical botany, and someone who had already been a vector for the Infernals in a previous incident. And if Unter Mialu, the library cat, would get off of my stream deck so I could run the show, that would be fantastic.
Oh, is it Athalor time? Let me at him. Let me at that.
Regards. Regards.
I'll kill that little.
All right. Seems like pieces of the Herald. It is a dream. Welcome back to Book of John Ioth Academy. Crowan has had to dip due to something going on in real life, and an augury card has been played immediately afterwards. So,
Kelvish
right.
dropped some bones on their way in.
Yeah, he dropped some bones on his way out, apparently. So, there are 4 covens, 4 crafts that are all arguing about the spiritual and leadership future of Anarom. Each of them has reached out to you claiming that they are the ones that you should go deal with. Complicating matters, Kelvius, regent of the Northwind Mantle, just flew up and dropped a piece of straw on the floor.
Kelvius?
He
What's this?
cackles again and flies away.
What is
I
some
don't
kind of
know.
stupid harvest festival prank?
You pick it up. I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
Got it. Said it first.
Yes, you did. Okay, fine. I examine the straw.
It's a piece of thatching from a house. Roll a nature check for me, please.
Oh boy. I love nature.
Okay.
I love nature 14.
It's definitely from the kind of plants one would use to thatch a roof in the backbone. So, Anaram, Taranat sort of area.
I smell it. Is there any whiff of smoke around it?
Roll a perception check.
14. Oh, haven't rolled above a 10 yet today.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of something savory, and then also something very acrid. They're different smells. They're not all the same smell. And they're recent. They're definitely recent.
And it smells it. It's just
Okay.
Roll a perception check.
I hope it's a 1.
Rolled a 5 for a total of 11. Yeah, it smells like smoke and stuff.
Okay. It smells like straw.
Yeah, I thought it smelled like weirdly smoky and like acrid or something. Maybe this is the kind of thatching that they'd use like in a backbone state where Anarom is, or any of that mountain range really. Thatching is fairly common there. We got a lot of trees. Why the how did Kelvis even get into the sphere? I guess just that.
Well, another reason why I need to work on this dome sooner than later. So, well, maybe he's just dropping off garbage. Which witch do you like the most?
What of the witches?
Of the 4, the main types of magic.
I mean, part of me says like maybe the light magic ones, but also part of me also says whichever ones can offer us the easiest logistics. We don't know if all of them have potential teleportation circles. We can always maybe send different envoys to different players.
But it's like, is red magic considered fire? Is green nature?
Give me an arcana.
1 + 1 = 2, maybe?
Oh, we are absolutely low bronze rollers today. 23. Oh, finally a good roll.
Anything that focuses on harm to others, not just through channeling the elements, but through like focusing on negatively attacking people, is considered dark magic. This includes animating the dead. Light magic is focused on benevolence, kindness, compassion, healing. So, life. Red magic is the power of the elements themselves, just channeling raw elemental power. And green magic is the magic of plants, and it's life magic, but of a different sort. Herbalism, summoning plants, creating plants, giving them life, drawing power from them. And the piece of straw is a piece of straw, apparently.
So all of them have knowledge about this res stuff, or do we have an inkling on which
The
category?
red magic sounds the least connected, you would say.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's elemental magic. You already know elemental magic. They probably have a different tradition of it than you do, but like less so.
Not much probably does with undeath, but we're looking more like to regenerate now than Red.
Well, dark magic could summoning up the spirit and reweaving. There's applications there, but light magic, healing, reconstitution, etc. also potential there. Roll religion checks for me, please.
Let's go low bobs. Oh, go on, got it. Big thinkies.
a pair of dirty
the same
20s. So green magic is interesting. By the way, these are not the only kinds of witchcraft that are practiced in Anaram. There's many others. These are just the 4 sort of camps that are currently arguing about the direction, the future of Anaram and the war that's going on. I'm just pulling up my notes. Yeah, the gingerbread witches don't have a lot to say about this right now.
Darn.
No delicious magic.
I could maybe vote that, yeah, we could go with the light magic people because they're probably nicer. And maybe they'll, like, be glazable because Zalar and, like, Brontha vibes. Maybe they like, give a shit about them.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like we have more information. Like, I guess the information we could provide would be on, like, sort of the regenerative process we used for you. Like, burning you and whatnot. While it's the dark magic, I guess maybe they'll be, like, super curious about the void, and then that could also transfer into, if they become allies, then helping us with other dark magic. Void is not dark magic! I will say it on this podium! But, yeah, so.
I will also say, when they talk about dark and light, they are not talking about good and evil. That's why they specifically say dark magic and light magic, not good magic and evil magic. Because in Anaram, at least, dark magic is an accepted craft. Maybe not everyone's a fan of it, but like amongst the witch queens, if you practice dark magic, they're not going to exile you. You're still one of their sisters.
Like, they just look at dark magic the same way we look at, like, a war mage.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's a little nastier because war mages just channel energy and blast people, but like dark magic is about the will to harm. It's more symbolic in that way. It's not just like, oh, I have fire. There's fire over there. It's like, no, I'm going to focus my desire to hurt you, the opposite of compassion, on you. But yeah, they're fine with it.
I'm down for light magic, I guess, since the point of healing, and we still are probably a more kind folk.
Yeah, it does seem like, though, even though it's not necessarily evil, the ones who do concentrate on doing harm are probably a little bit less social.
Mm-hmm. Probably a little bit more pragmatic in their approach to things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can always go with plan B if the light people don't like us.
True.
I somehow fucked that up.
Does Untamola get any inclination from each of these camps as to how we would meet them?
They would like...
We need to make arrangements on their side. Give us some sort of path. If not a teleportation circle, a place to meet them. Or perhaps they will come to us if they possess the magic, but most witches do not cast that spell in particular. Once we have made our decision, I will arrange the meeting and figure out how to get there.
And do you have any input on who might be a good partner in this?
I have no political interest in this internal struggle. Anaram are not friends of the Infernals, but I would consider them neutral. It does not particularly benefit the Academy for one of these camps to come out over the other. My chief concern would be with practicality. Which of these paths is most likely to result in the secrets that we need?
I feel like light magic is probably where we have the least expertise of a school.
Quite.
I mean, dark magic seems like it's covered both by necromancy and by what Garnet can do.
But I feel like they may be curious on how we healed you, Drew.
Huh?
fire. I mean, that's light fire magic. I mean, what Brontha's able to accomplish is something we can still talk, and maybe even giving Brontha an ally could be fun too.
Yeah. I mean, you are essentially a child of the Lightbringer, so that's
Yeah.
And our
I'll act
premier
right.
shadow mage. Nonetheless, should you so choose, I will reach out to the White Craft, the Light Craft, and maybe they can send us a piece of something we can use as a beacon for teleportation. I don't know. We'll see.
And he'll go off to make those arrangements.
You reckon I should just send Kelvius maybe a sending and ask what the fuck this is?
Yeah. I don't know. You're friends with them more than I am.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, Conker, at least I think Kelvius is their own weird motives. I'll go get a scroll of sending a second. Head over to the commissary, like, yeah, not for her this time. It's for me.
It just reaches into like the scribes, the scriveners are working overtime, just like scroll of sending, scroll of sending, scroll of sending, scroll of sending. It's one of those
45 of them.
Yeah, like one of those monasteries where all the monks are sitting at tables just writing, and they're all doing scrolls of sending right now. All right, this one's yours.
Kelvius, what's this straw? Does it have something to do with Anarom? Hopecock as well. Athalor? Don't do many sendings.
I thought you might need
this to get where you're going.
Oh, it's a teleportation beacon.
Just scry or something? Oh.
If we meant to teleport there. Oh. Wait, how does Kelvius know how does Kelvius know this shit? Well,
I haven't been on the lookout for birds.
True. I mean, I guess there are plenty around the sphere on the outside. I'll run down the hall after Entomola. Entomola! In case we need a place to teleport Kelvius, the Raven from Conquer's Shoulder, the temporary holder of the Mantle of the North Wind. Bought this straw. I think it's from an Anoramian roof.
Scry that, would you?
Yeah, sure. I'll get Mantra right on it. Mantra's currently attuned, so Mantra is scrying.
Okay. Give me a moment to set the stage here.
Boy.
Hopefully this doesn't make your computer puke itself, but I got beta access to the foreground layer in Roll20.
Ooh.
Which means that now Rain can be on top of the token layer instead of underneath it. Yeah. So this.
Fancy pants.
Fancy pants.
I too got the Roll20 reserve reward.
And we'll do this. We'll throw it down here. We'll expand it to consume the entire world.
Ah, the Hungry Dark.
We'll make sure that dynamic lighting is off on this map, which it is. We'll make sure that chat can actually see what's going on.
Perfect time.
And then, voila.
Oh boy. Oh, what a color scheme.
Pretty.
You see a hut. An enormous blossoming tree grows out of the top of it. There's sort of a tower and a platform built above it. Trees are in blossom all around. There's a cauldron bubbling surrounded by candles. all sorts of different food items and bones and magical flowers and reagents have been set aside. There's a couple of gardens, a couple of fields. Some totems have been set up with bird bones along the way. And there is a woman sweeping the deck.
What's the woman's vibe?
She is tall, pale skin, raven dark hair, middle-aged, probably. It's a little hard to tell. Stiff posture, even though she's leaning down to sweep. She is... Roll an insight check for me, both of you.
And can we tell what language she's speaking?
She's not speaking any language at the moment. She's just sweeping
She's
the
not
deck.
like doo, maybe singing something to herself. I don't know.
Humming.
Yeah. Sylvan. Are either of you
Okay.
proficient in the Sylvan language? You would recognize it, but you may not understand it.
No, any elvish loan words?
Yeah, it's a sad song. You also see
sad song.
multiple ravens nesting in the trees all around.
Elvius's friends?
Potentially.
Potentially.
They don't look like carrion crows.
Raven Queen affiliated?
Not a thing here.
Not a thing. Oh, yeah.
All good. All good. Using your
My D&D
using your lore
wise.
brain. That's good. Yep. My dumbass has to have all this custom nonsense.
It wasn't the last time we saw a witch with those like gnomes, the bloodthirsty.
Oh, yeah, the
ones?
red caps. The
Yes.
ones that
They're
you
witches.
unleashed a planet-ending plague upon and accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope I wiped them out. But are those type of witches?
They practice witchcraft, but that is a fey creature. That was a hag, which is not just a mortal practicing magic. That is a fey practicing witchcraft. Upon using your ability to identify magical creatures, this is not a fey. This is a human.
Can we see what's in the cauldron?
Yeah, roll an alchemy check.
Alchemist tools. Or alchemist supplies let's do intelligence. Wisdom. What it is.
nice.
17.
She's cooking potions of healing.
As one does.
Several.
Okay,
of them.
maybe a light or green mage.
As you're watching, 3 young strangers come up the path. They are battle-worn, weary. Their equipment is like stained and melted. And they are dragging an old man with them. He has twigs in his hair. They're carrying his staff alongside him. He's clearly wearing some sort of ceremonial garb. And they're just like dragging him up the path with them.
Are they also
halfling-
human?
No, there's a halfling. And I think 2 humans. Yes. The halfling looks scrappy. One of the humans is tall, wielding a big sword. And then the other human, they're all girls. They're all fairly young, older than you, but fairly young. They're all kind of dressed for wilderness travel. They're not really, they don't look rich. They don't have they're not kitted out with a ton of magic items and all that stuff. But you hear them calling out a name as they make their way up the path.
Their body language, do they consider this a refuge or are they in danger?
They are exhausted and weary and glad to be done.
Gotcha. What is this, some kind of medicine hut?
You hear them call her Vedrana, calling out to her as they make their way up there. She's clearly surprised to see them and the individual that they brought with them. She recognizes him. She's bemused by his presence. As they walk in, she scoops up some of the healing potion that she's been making. She's clearly been waiting for them to come home or to come back. And ushers all of them into the hut. Which is warded. It's not like a shroud. It's not an incredibly powerful warding. It's just like a small divination ward just inside the hut itself.
Why did Kilbase want us to see this? Are there any crests on the old man? Defining helmet or pauldrons?
Roll a perception check. You may both do so. A 19.
He's got it.
Okay, he was wearing ceremonial clothes. It looks like they were all clothes made from like wilderness stuff, like made by hand by somebody living far away from civilization. A lot of greens and browns and like plant wreaths and bones. Roll a religion check, please.
This one might be a bit better for Garnet.
Okay.
There we go, nice.
So, Athalor, this person is clearly a primal spellcaster of some kind, a priest, a hermit, a druid, someone who communes with nature and communes with the elements and the other world. Garnet, you see some very subtle, coded Zethian symbology.
Oh, what?
This guy is, and I will also point out, this guy was clearly a captive.
Oh.
Yeah, they captured him and brought him here.
Oh, W. We should go visit soon.
Yeah, wherever this is.
We need a Sylvan translator, though.
We will need a Sylvan translator who would be most likely to speak that. Maybe Sig.
I'll look through my list. Oh, I apologize. When they came up the way, she spoke to them in common. She was singing in Sylvan, but you would have heard her speak in common.
Looking around here, any like lodestones or monoliths that would be used for navigation? I guess it's a little bit close to a house for that.
Yeah, not really. No signposts or anything like that. Just these bone totems that have been set up. Little amulets and charms hanging from the trees.
The ley lines, what do they mean?
Well, Sage was on board with us doing this stuff, so she could just gate us over.
I mean, true if we knew any of their names. I guess they can just choose where to go if we showed them.
You can use the stick as a... You have a piece of this place, and you have now seen this place. If somebody casts the teleport spell, you can now get here unerringly. No chance of failure.
Just do
You're
that.
sure that you saw Zethian things?
Pretty sure.
It looks like.
Yeah, Garnet, you're very sure. These are things that somebody who is a member of some sort of Zethian cult, which is an occult cult, would wear as a sign so that normies wouldn't recognize it, but other Zethians would. And because you've done so much homework, you're very certain about it. Who?
I mean,
go ahead.
This could be a unique opportunity to get some alliances with them. I mean, we would be attempting to fight them anyway. And if these guys are enemies of whatever cult that is, maybe our assistance would be a good in.
Yeah.
And maybe that infernal influence is what started to schism them apart to begin with.
Who would you like to bring with you if this is the path you'd like to take?
Well, Sig likes trees and shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sig, actually.
Okay.
That or Cyrus with the alchemy, but it's between those two. If we don't know whose magic this is, right? The green, the red, the light, the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Can Sig do teleporting is the question.
Sig can use a scroll of teleport for sure.
Yeah. Maybe bring Sig and like 2 wardens.
Okay. We'll set that up.
I don't want to do
yes,
a big
Sig can cast
incursion.
it. Right. You don't want to roll up with the whole squad. Okay. Anything else before you proceed?
I think
Should we bring some like? Should we bring any like anti-poison or any like move earth or controlled nature bullshit with us? Or
I mean, some base antidotes would be a really good show, actually.
Okay. You want to bring some antitoxin?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can each get 2 antitoxin from the commissary. No problem.
Things to cure poisoning.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and add 2 antitoxin to your list.
Just thinking of a few.
Sig is immune to poison entirely, should it come up.
Is there a standard diplomatic gift of peace, the equivalent of an olive branch?
I haven't thought of that, and it probably wouldn't be universal, multicultural. A wreath. You would bring like a woven wreath of, let's see.
Oh, it's a good job we got Sigbane. He'd probably be Wreath Master.
Yeah. Lavender. A lavender wreath. That would be a sign of peace and good intention. And Sig can go ahead and whip one of those up for you.
And a bottle of wine.
And a bottle of
Hell
wine.
yeah.
Done.
Bitches love wine.
Bitches love wine. Anything else?
I think that and a little bit of winging it attitude.
Oh, you did say Zethius. Someone, I believe somebody
I said Zethi. I just said Zethian.
Zethian. Completely
I
different.
don't know if that's an asterisk.
Nope, it's different. Doesn't count. If you said Uzulite, that would count because the name, the entire word Uzul is in that word. But Zethian is not.
Zethius is like, oh, yeah, not me. No, not talking about me.
Okay.
It ain't me.
Having gathered together your gifts, Sig takes the stick, teleports you there, and we get rid of the scrying ambiance. As you find yourself standing on this path, you are immediately beset by the difference in the weather here. You have gone from the sun-swept lands in late spring, turning into summer, to the high alpine mountains of the backbone, where even though the sun is warm, the air is thinner here. It's crisper here. It's pleasantly warm with just a little bit of an undercurrent of cool, chill mountain air. It's relatively sunny today, but there is some cloud cover. It does, however, take you like an hour, a few minutes, something like that, to get all of this together. So a little bit of time has passed.
Is anyone outside?
No.
Cauldron still bubbling?
Mm-hmm.
And how did the wildlife react to our entry?
The ravens just sort of notice you. There's a cat and some squirrels. The black cat looks up at you, sort of uninterestedly, yawns.
Is this straw that's right here the straw that Kelvius brought us?
Yes, it's also the straw on this roof. Oh, wrong layer. On this roof.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're in the right place.
Certainly are. Wonder if they're all still inside. Is there any sound of a hubbub?
No.
Can I go and smell or take a closer look at maybe the exact healing potion being made here, or if it's really actually healing?
Roll a
Just spiked with
alchemist
anything?
tools check.
Oh, that ain't me. I will help,
help.
Leg Day on his roll.
Yeah. Sniff this, Garnet. What is it?
Oh, it's salty. Oh, well.
There's one, and hopefully advantage.
You had assistance. You had assistance. You had advantage.
No, that's not salt. That's pepper, you
16.
idiot.
Okay, it's a potion of healing. It uses local ingredients, both plant and animal. It's almost like a stew in consistency. Likely you would bottle the broth, maybe like get a little of the distillate out of it before, like you could drink it right now and it would work. It'd be fine. But when you're bottling this stuff, you kind of like take some of it, let it cool so that it separates, like some of the sediment separates out, and that way it's not gritty and you don't get eye of newt or ear of toad in your.
Can I empty one of my healing potions and scoop up a bottle of this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's all.
Go ahead. Add healing stew to your inventory.
Stew of healing.
The door of the hut opens, and the woman that you saw previously is standing in the doorway. She has the broom in one hand and a wand in the other. I don't suppose you have any problems with my cooking.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Nor with
Did you make this?
Nor with helping yourself. She shuts the door
Oh.
and steps forward. She does not walk down the stairs just yet. She's not holding the wand in a I am about to frag your ass position, but she's holding it in a if I need to frag your ass, I will position.
Sorry, I thought this was communal. Most people brew indoors, I guess.
Most people can't find this place.
Oh, well, a bird brought us here. Seems like you got a lot of them.
The ravens.
She looks up
Put us
at
in.
the ravens as they all start cackling. Not in unison, but all at the same time.
I thought kind of pulls out the lavender wreath. We're not
Is
here
that
with
the
any
wine?
bad intentions. When we investigated where this straw had come from, we saw you had the weary and a guest.
Busybody birds. She walks down the staircase, kind of peers at you for a moment, Garnet, looking down at you, not like looking down on you, but just, she's taller than you. She sets the broom on the ground and it just stays upright, like almost floating. And she reaches out, she grabs the bottle, looks it over.
It was the first thing I could find.
We're from Ioth Academy. I'm Athalor, this is Garnet. This is Professor Sigezig.
Academy. Huh. Well, I've certainly heard of you, and I guess that explains why this is the first thing you had lying around. She takes the wreath as well, and kind of gives you a nod, though she's looking warily at the armored wardens, who are doing their best. They've done diplomatic stuff before. They're, looking non-threatening, We come in peace. Yeah, but why? He's addressing the two of you now, even though Sig just spoke up.
That person that came in all injured has some bad symbols on him in terms of his affiliation.
Yeah, he went sour a while ago.
Are they part of your clan?
Roll an insight check, please, both of you.
I dislike the term clan.
An 18. So no, he's not a part of her clan. The connection is more personal than that. And possibly intimate.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
So me not getting this, I'm like, so a brother, like a grandfather, like a son, a friend.
Somebody I used to know.
Master?
What's your interest in any of this, anyways? Before I start spilling old news to strain... Well, you gave me your name. You told me your name. You didn't give me your name. And wine. What's your name, child?
Kind of looks at the Lord like, wait, do I
He already
say the
said
whole thing?
his.
Oh, I'm Garnet from Brontha Academy too. We thought it would be fun to exchange knowledge because we have a certain mission in mind, and we heard that you guys would help or be helpful.
I'm called Vidrana. And what in the underworld does the Academy want my help with?
Witch Queens of Anarom are lauded for their knowledge of necromancy and the depths of knowledge of witchcraft. You aren't one of the Witch Queens?
Roll persuasion check. She's, again, kind of just getting a vibe on Athalor.
Oh, I'm going to use a lucky die on that one, baby.
I'll help him by saying, well, you look like a witch queen.
13. W.
I was.
Ooh, I know a retired
Didn't know
baddie
you
when I
had
see
retirement
one.
plans.
Yeah.
Right. Well, necromancy. I suppose that does make some modicum of sense. Come in.
Thank you.
And she will gesture for you to follow.
Just eyeing down this creepy toad that I just noticed on the map. What the fuck?
It's just like a frog and a smaller frog on top of it. I'll just go ahead and not look at that for Mama Shimada's sake. I don't have an interior of the hut, so I'm afraid you're going to have to use your imaginations, which is a terrible fate.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Inside, you know what? Before I do that, inside, I'll give you an image of the guy who is tied up here.
Oh, boy.
That's what he looks like, except
he's from Warcraft 3.
So his clothes or his tattoos are like Zethia's pilled?
Yes. There are subtle little symbols in both of them. You notice some of them, like he's had some of these tattoos for a very long time. Some of them are newer. The newer ones are Zethian. He is currently bound by ropes and gagged. And black and blue all over. He got the crap beat out of him.
Like new bruises from when we scryed?
Mm-hmm. The bruises apparently hadn't finished forming.
Are the three women still here?
No, the young women are no longer here. She invites you to sit down. There's a fire going. There's a tree growing out of the middle of the place. It's not very bright in here. There's some sunlight streaming in. It's very dark. very eclectic and kind of cozy. And there's paraphernalia of folk magic all over the place. Just absolutely everywhere. I would like each of you to roll a perception check, please.
Oh boy.
Kind of looks up at the big tree. They don't.
Staring at
they
the
don't
guy.
They don't trust me around big trees anymore.
Who's they?
Oh, look, Sig, it's you! And points at the big tree.
No, it's not. I'm not a tree.
Kind of look like
The two wardens are going to stay outside, by the way. They are ready to act if this lady tries anything, but otherwise, and she's going to sit down and like, she takes the wine, she pours it. She doesn't have any glasses. She just has like clay cups, clay fired cups and stuff. Sets that down, pours some for each of you. Sid glances at the two kids for a moment and just looks over, declines the wine.
Ooh.
Doesn't work.
Don't you get like dried up? Because it dehydrates you? I don't know. Takes a sip of the wine.
With the fortune garnet, you notice she probably sleeps upstairs in the tower. There's no bed readily obvious here. There are a few amethyst charms hanging here and there.
Like anti-dream stuff?
Necromancy. She has like some berries, a haunch of some meat, some stew she cooked that is not healing stew. It's just tasty stew.
I
There's a lot
suppose
of
more
stuff for-
accurately, the evocation of recreating spiritual energy.
Well, she like crosses her legs, leans back in a chair, takes a sip of wine, points at the old guy strung up, and I don't think we should talk about anything until he's dead.
Can't kill him. Not yet.
Well, the serpent could be listening in, and I don't want to have a meeting in front of him.
Ms. Vadrana, is it sentiment or necessity? It keeps him alive.
I'd like to think the second. Here are those big strapping armored ones. Hey, you two, get in here. The two wardens kind of clunk in. They're in their armor. They have to tuck themselves in. It's not like wide open around here. There's stuff hanging all over the place. They're kind of knocking things over as they go, trying to be careful. Their shields just do not fit here. This is a prisoner. He's not to be trusted. He's not to speak. Take him outside, far away, where he can't hear us, and keep watch on him. The two wardens look to the three of you and go along with it.
Appreciate it.
You're right, you're right. Now, what in the dark magic are you children up to?
Dark magic? I am a child of light. I come from Brontha. She kind of tucks her book to the side of the chair. We seek to bring back a dear, dear professor of ours, and that was taken away too soon.
Dead.
Incredibly.
Pretty
Down to the point of
disintegrated.
no corpse.
Oh.
Which is why we need some experts.
Child of light comment.
I mean, it's not a lie.
But there is more.
I don't know. You made me roll for half.
She's a teenager of lies.
Like so many other things, you roll. I'm going to give you something. It's just, what am I giving you, you know? Because it's not a lie. It's just a little sus. Okay. How'd she die?
Got blown up.
Like an explosion. Incredibly
Their
close
words.
proximity.
And it's been a few weeks, few months, less than a year.
Less than a year yet. Leggy doesn't know the timeline very well.
That's
It's only
fine.
been like
I
a
could
week
pull
and
it
a
up if I
half.
looked it up. That's why I just said less than a year. It's simpler that way. That is. You seem like bright kids.
Thanks.
You've probably had a
Sweet.
lot of adults lecture you about how dangerous this is, how hard it is, how it's not a thing that you should do, right?
Well,
And here we are in a stranger's home asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
So
not good listeners.
I can just skip all that then. And why do you need to do this? Because you miss her?
Well, I wouldn't go through this trouble for just anyone.
There's a lot of reasons why somebody could just not be just anyone. A lot of different reasons.
Because she's necessary.
For what? A lot of people die and the worlds keep turning.
She's our archmage. In charge of the school. Well, was. I don't know.
Roll insight checks for me, both of you, please. Okay. This person, Vidrana, Ioth Academy is so far away and so removed from her life. It is practically a legend. She knows it's real. She has she's a practitioner of the magical arts, right? But she apparently doesn't get out much and doesn't talk to people much. So she's going off of hearsay and shop talk.
I thought Ioth was a guy.
And yeah, the fact that the Archmage exploded, that took her by surprise. And not because she knew Elna personally, but just because it's like the Archmage of Ioth Academy must be a pretty big deal.
It was sort of my fault. Not that I blew her up, but the situation that she was in. So
Athalor, as Garnet says that, a pained look of familiarity crosses over the former Witch Queen's face. It was somewhat my fault.
I guess they both share the same face.
Yeah, she understands that in a very bitter way. And roll a persuasion check, please, Garnet. And Athalor. Okay, a 22.
Out of 10. Oh my goodness, my rolls today, boys.
Kind of tragic. One thing, a trick that I've learned that I don't think I've mentioned to you yet is have somebody roll the persuasion check first before they give the gist of their argument, because then you can gauge your efforts based on what you rolled, so you can decide why your argument doesn't work. You don't necessarily have to look like a buffoon. You can sort of self-narrate why you got the result that you got. What was it about your speech that was so convincing? Was it the emotion? Was it the logic? So on and so forth. So, Garnet, are you mostly going off of emotion, or are you just trying to stress like the urgency, the danger? What's the main vibe that you're giving here?
I think this will be like one of the first times she's opened up about it, and at first it's been usually an anger reaction, and now it's, I don't know, the
Mm-hmm.
stages of despair or whatever, of just now getting to like the acceptance point and accepting that, you know, she handled that situation wrong, and kind of just, it's my fault because I was overconfident and I brought her in, and the threat that was there was, we did not, we miscalculated, and anyway, the reaction of the fight was an explosion that took her after she saved me. So, and I just believe that the academy would only be in good hands with her.
And I
False
should care
argument
about the
flopped because he
academy.
got defensive.
And the academy is something I should care about.
Well, to be blunt, you're at war. We're at war, but we're winning ours. So I don't know what's going all up in here in the north, but hey, I think friends
I
are
am
always
not
important.
in any war.
Well, I guess they haven't found you yet.
You know, no one's safe from the depredations of the infernals. Pardon me, Miss Vadrana, but there's someone out there with the serpent symbols on their robes.
Yeah. They handled it. We'll keep handling it. I know a way to help you. It is going to be ugly. It is going to be painful. But if you can have a chance to get out of a mistake you made, then I'm guessing you'd think it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All power comes with a price. Here's mine. A few years ago, there was a small village of halflings who were taken by raiders from Snorheim. I want you to use all that fancy magic and power that you have to find out where they are now.
The villagers who were taken.
Yes.
They were taken by raiders from Snorheim. We must be in North Anarom. How far away from the mountain range?
Well, you're actually in the mountains right now. He says, we're not in Anarom. There's there's a couple of vales and peaks that are a little too rugged for either my former sisters or the southern princes to claim, right between the two of them. And since I don't belong with any of them, that's where I make my home.
Did you cease being a witch queen when your people were taken?
Roll insight checks, both of you, please. Incredible.
Honestly, the tragedy continues today.
Incredible. Ugh.
Yeah, she seems pretty chill with that comment, honestly.
They're not my people. They're not my people. This isn't for me. This is for a favor I owe, a debt I have to pay. You're going to help me pay it. It's really irrelevant. The laughing god smiles upon you, and Chad has taken mercy on you. You have a D8 inspiration dice that you can use. If you'll agree to find this out for me and tell me, then I'll share with you what I know.
I can agree on that. Do you have any of the civilians' names for our divinators to be able to work with?
Nope.
The name of the village?
I know the name of one person in the village, but she is not with the rest of them.
And where is she? Is she the halfling from earlier?
How did you... Mages. She dismisses your comment, but by that reaction, the answer is clearly yes. Yeah. Her name, Pippi.
Maybe she can't have gone far.
You shouldn't need to bring her into this. In fact, I would prefer that you don't.
How did Pippi escape?
To hear her tell it, she was just in the right place at the right time.
Is the right place with you?
No. No. She's only recently come into it. That part doesn't matter. You have her name. If there's anything else useful, then I will pass that to you. I don't know how long it will take for you to do this. You've promised. I'll accept that.
How far from here and in what direction is her village?
Along the shores of the Misty Lake to the north. Several hundred miles. It's been a good year, maybe more.
Promise is a promise.
Good. She stands up from the table, kind of looks between the three of you as if she's scanning for any responses or anything else that you're going to do. There is some apprehension. A deep sense of reluctance in what she's doing now. She starts to clear off the table. After the table is clear, she thinks better of it. Instead, she starts clearing off a section of the floor, sweeping it very thoroughly, kind of like she's stalling. She's being extremely meticulous about this clear circle of floor that she's opening up. She goes.
The information we seek from you, I'd want you to know it would only be used once and not passed on.
That's for the best.
The amount of power it will take will be considerable and irreplaceable. You have this already.
Power. She lights numerous candles at each of the windows, beeswax candles, tied with purple string. She goes through her bric-a-brac, scraping aside shelves and the like and such, and pulls out 8 small amethyst obelisks, carefully carved, about yay big. They've gathered some dust. They haven't been used for a while. And she sets them deliberately around the edges of this circle that she's clearing. And then she pulls out some parchments. Not really well-made parchment, very rough stuff. Upon which, like, almost close to hide, close to just scraped hides, really. Upon which a great deal has been written probably by her hand. And as she's grabbing them, her hand is shaking. She sets the scroll on the table in front of you, but leaves her hand locked on top of it. Garnet, you recognize the script that is written on this scroll, the language that was used. It's the infernal tongue.
That's suspicious.
Well, it's the language of the infernals and devils and such.
Okay. Wasn't sure if there was like other.
No, that's a fair question, and it's 1-to-1.
I think I'll kind of pull out my book and flip it open and point to her and tell her to stop moving.
She wonders why you're just pawing at the air, but she stops. He's clearly very, very stressed and was before you did that. He stops.
And it's just eyeing Athalor, and we'll send him a message, which no somatic, no verbal, can just telepathically tell Athalor that's infernal script.
Miss Vadrana, is that an infernal contract?
Roll an insight check for me, both of you.
Oh, come on, bro.
18.
You know, hey, you gotta.
Oh, can I put the D8 on this?
Do you want to add the D8 to that?
I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, why not?
You can't circle everything now that Crowan's not here. You can't just get a +5 on any roll you feel like.
I can't get a +1d4 on any roll, I feel like.
Oh my god,
Oh
what
my
a banger.
Increíble. 20.
How did you fuck that up? Oh,
This
wow.
is incredible. You have LaFawn luck right now. It's wild. So she shakes her head. No. She's not lying. But she does have one. It's just not this.
I finally replied to the message. She has one. Not this.
In my infernal knowledge, like what do I know about infernal contracts in terms of what they're usually used for, or like
Warlock Pact could be one. You get my
is it
soul
the
in
power exchange?
Power exchange. It can be services rendered, like you seal it with a contract, and that's very powerful binding magic. Make me wealthy, and you can have my soul. Send me warriors to fight in my army, and I will sacrifice a whole bunch of people, kill them for you. Like any sort of exchange between a person and an infernal does not have to be, but can be formalized in a contract. The most likely infernal to do formal contracts would be Uzul. It's not unique to Uzul, but that would be the most common.
She'll just keep her kind of eyes set on her, so as soon as she were to do anything rash, she would react. But
not only is she
says-
not moving, but she is afraid and she feels vulnerable.
she just says calmly, like, last time a friend did an infernal contract, his skin turned to snake, and I don't know what happened to your friend, and I don't know what business you're up to, but we don't need help from infernals.
That's wise. You would do well to hold to that. She hasn't moved yet.
If that's not an infernal contract, what's this?
It is the fruit of that same poison tree. But it's also what you need.
Can I see what the
There's
script says?
barely any script legible. Roll an Arcana check, even unless you natty this, which I've now manifested.
Holy shit!
The manifestation is crazy.
Yeah, you didn't think you could have gone at motherfucking Tosaka today, did you?
The way he like cursed that shit is crazy.
Wild, unfettered wildness.
I wasn't joking about that. I knew as soon as I said it.
Thank God you have a counterweight to me.
Fine. Garnet, you catch only a handful of phrases here. But past research that you've done and some personal experiences allow your brain to effectively fill in the blanks. This is not a spell or a ritual. It is her notes, Vidrana's notes, on a form of magic that relies on pain and on heartbreak to invoke that which broke the heart. It is magic of deep, deep sorrow. It is magic of despair. And since you got a natural 20, it is effectively, you don't know entirely how it worked, but you were very quickly able to piece this together with all the research that you've done. It is difficult to take the threads of a soul that has been unraveled by the cycle and weave it back together. You have to have a perfect memory of that person in order to, and a focused will in order to weave them back. If it's anything less than that, it won't hold. It will unravel again, and it will return as it should be. But if this person's passing left enough of a scar on your heart, that is a form of an imprint that can be used. That pain, that loss, that sorrow can be used as the image by which you reconstitute them. It's like creating a mold from a negative. You take the hole in your heart that that person left and use it to weave them back.
Oh, it's like inverse herald craft.
But the cost is the memory being like, what's the downside?
Well,
I think Garnet would have to relive causing Ionel's death.
Yeah.
For one, yes, there could be more to it. It is possible that it could be fueled by someone's memories. You forget them, but you get them back. It is possible that it is fueled by you forcing yourself to relive that in grave detail. And given the nature of the Herald, it is also something that you could use the psychic power of mortals trapped in nightmares to fuel it.
I think she maybe, I guess to make sense of this moment, she'll like have an arcane eye that was like reading since she's like sort of a bit more distant away from her. And as she's kind of realizing what this is, she, throws back the last bit of the wine and stands up and leaves her book on the chair and just kind of puts her hands up like, I'm sorry, I didn't know what that was. You've been scared by some infernals lately. But I'm ready to do whatever it takes to bring her back. And is gesturing that she sort of understands what's in the scroll or whatever it is.
Athlor, do you do anything?
And Athalor's happy to let Garnet make the frag or not frag decision.
One thing I've learned in my years, young lady: never apologize for wisdom.
Just hoping to undo what was done. What do you need from me?
Well, sit with me. And now she's no longer being threatened with an invisible book, she starts to unfurl this scroll, and it's a few of them nested inside of each other. And
I'll check on the trio outside.
It is clearly her notes. And because magic is complicated, and you can read Infernal, she's just going to go over them with you. And it's going to take her a while. You immediately understood the theory and all of it, but the steps involved. Like, we all understand the theory of splitting the atom, but we don't all know how to do it. It's rather complicated. You're smart enough to know how to do it. You just need to go through the steps. She starts outlining the theory of the magic. It is not a specific spell. It's complex ritual, bespoke magic that you have to use. It's more about learning the magical principles of it. It is fueled by emotional pain. And some of it must come from the people who are hurt most by the loss, because that is where the imprint is going to come from. That has to come from somewhere. You need the psychic energy from somewhere. You need vital energy from somewhere. And this does not create a body. This weaves back together the soul. It does not create a vessel for them to inhabit. So you will have to find a way to provide the psychic energy, the vital energy, the specific heartbreak of it, and more fuel to enact the spell. This spell, as far as you understand it, and you rolled a natural 20, so you understand it pretty well, may permanently harm the people involved. Anyone whose psychic energy or vital energy is used as a source for material for the recreated soul, and those whose heartbreak is being used, it may cause them permanent harm. But unlike a lot of other magic, shouldn't hurt anybody else. Just people used for the spell, voluntary or otherwise, and the people whose heartbreak is used for the spell.
And for a vessel, is she suggesting like a construct or like just a willing human, or like what is a vessel for this?
A new body, a body without a soul. There are many ways to create a body. That was not her study. She never learned how to do that. But a construct could be used. There are many examples of people imprisoning souls in cages or gems. If you have something like that that's sufficiently powerful, it could hold the reincarnated soul, the reconstituted soul, until a suitable permanent vessel is found.
Could put Elno in a bop it.
That or the ring of mind shielding technically can house a soul.
Yes, and the ring of mind shielding would actually be perfect because it doesn't expire. As long as no one else dies while they're touching it, it lasts forever. You could absolutely put her in the ring of mind shielding.
Okay, we'll offer that. And of course, anything she needs from me, physically, emotionally, or if anything about high magic, we can do.
She's not going to do this. She can't.
Why?
Because she's not a witch anymore.
Oh.
But she does know how.
Yes, she hasn't
Just
forgotten.
can't draw on the power.
Do we need a witch, or can we do it ourselves?
No, you can do it yourself, but she
Oh, okay.
has no power to offer. Not anymore.
Just noting from a check outside, the prisoner's still with the wardens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I will re-enter.
They look over and they're like, everything good?
Thumbs up.
All right. Blink
But
twice
I
if you're
guess
a mirror
as
clone.
Athalor, as Athalor walks back in, like there's a face of worry, but probably the first time Garnet has looked hopeful about this whole situation because she was basically didn't want to do this because there was no hope, and to have to live back her death or a failure would have just not gone well. But this is the first sign that this is really possible, and she'll go over the notes like quickly with Ethelward to catch him up. But yeah.
Well, we certainly have all the heartbreak we need with you having been there.
Yeah. I can keep her in my ring. I don't know if she'll love that, but it's better than nothing, and until we can find a body, or I don't know how to reconstruct hers.
Generate one.
Sig sort of.
I mean, we literally have. Sig.
She could probably do a little better.
I mean, we were able to burn you and make you a new body. What if we just burned someone and made them look like El now? I don't know if we can control the physiology there, but
Well, creating a body is
Mr.
complicated, but
Verana.
it's less complicated than creating a soul.
Miss Vadrana, from your expertise, do you know how long a, let's say, free floating soul can maintain its integrity?
Free floating? I couldn't say.
It weren't found.
They're not supposed to linger without a body. That's the underworld pulls them down to where they belong. You've got to put it somewhere. You've got to anchor it somewhere.
And transference fairly utilitarian if you have it anchored somewhere and wish to anchor it somewhere else.
It's not simple.
No.
But for Ioth Academy, it must be doable.
You wouldn't believe someone had a pool of souls.
I
Not a
believe
good
lot of
guy.
things.
I'll let Garnet focus on the details of the magic. She's far better at theoretics than me. I'm interested in our promise. You didn't want Pippi involved.
No. In
Would her
fact,
companions know of the village?
I don't think so. We're all recent acquaintances. And it would be best for them if they never learned that this visit took place at all.
They're defensive of you.
Sorry, what
Don't
was
like
that?
Outsiders. They're defensive of you. Don't like outsiders.
She doesn't answer, but it's the other way around.
And you believe they may be alive?
Yes. What few rights I can still work have pointed towards hope.
Do you have the means to retrieve them?
No. Well, that's not what I asked of you. I just need to know where.
just like really focused on reading the notes and trying to figure out 1,000 things as Athelor figures out that end of the bargain, and also remembers sort of the prisoner dude outside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't wait until the last minute with him. Our last friend that we tried to give chances to ran away, but
Oh, he's
we
not
were
getting
able
another
to.
chance. I'm just not done with him yet.
Are you gonna let him live? Are you trying to save him?
Not him. He's caused some trouble. Need to undo it. Need to have it undone. Need to squeeze a couple of secrets out of him before he returns to nature.
Pardon the nosiness of it. Is this happening often amongst the Anoramians? I've heard there are political schisms at the moment.
Are there? I have no traffic with my former sisters. They've seen to it.
Brilliant.
He's just a member of a local sect, completely separate from them. Nothing to do with Anaram. There are countless across the entire world who speak to the stones and hear the trees and the streams. He was just one of the local better ones, wiser ones, I thought. When you listen to the world, occasionally other voices whisper along with them.
I guess some of them are better conversation than a rock.
Does he
Depends
have
on
a
the rock.
pact?
I think I'll find out.
Well, if this works, kind of shows her the pages.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could help. Maybe sever that pact, because we've been able to do that before.
It's... I was just going to kill him when I'm done. I don't know... If he spits out one word of regret, I don't know if I could believe it.
That's fair.
When a snake crawls into your house, you have to deal with it one way or another.
Yeah.
Appreciate your methodology.
We came to that conclusion too eventually.
Hmm.
Wish it was as quick as yours, but well, good luck. We could help with the killing part too.
It's not a universal rule, Garnet. Sometimes letting somebody live who's made mistakes works out in the end. And she glances over at the ream of evil scrolls that she's given you for a moment.
If I might be audacious, I'd ask permission to teleport here again in the future for our bargain. This would be the best area for us to range north towards that raided village, look for more clues.
Well, you didn't ask it the first time, so it's not rescinded.
It's always better to be polite when we're on first name terms.
So you've used this? I mean, these are your notes, so this will work?
I have never used this exact right. I came very close. But I was too late. We're still boils. Voice.
Pint of vent despair.
They didn't ask me to do anything. They just told me what might happen if I don't. And I listened. And I made those very things happen.
This is the product of your having not searched for the soul.
What are you gesturing at? The scrolls or like her surroundings or
Just her entire existence here.
this is the results of a second chance that I didn't deserve.
I'm glad you got
My
it.
sisters took my power from me and sent me to this prison under the eyes of the jailbird. They were being merciful.
Does the name Kelvius mean anything to you?
Oh, yeah, I feel the same way. Is that the jailbird?
Yes.
Oh.
We know his ward.
Tell him I say hi. He probably hasn't told him about me. It probably doesn't matter. There are a few things that matters. That's not one of them. This could be. You have the opportunity to bring someone back when you caused their loss. Do not let go of that, please.
We'll do everything to make it happen.
Good. Good.
Do you wish to be free from this prison? Or would you like some more wine and visitors every now and then?
I won't say no to the wine.
Okay. I'll deliver some.
We'll keep our promise.
You'd best. And she'll rise up to her feet with a little bit more of that wine in hand and not kick you out. She's not like throwing you out. She's seeing you to the door because that's the direction that this is heading overall. Unless you have anything else to say, Sig will rise up and prepare the teleportation circle to take you back to Ioth Academy.
Okay.
As she's walking out with Sig, just, see, trees are safe around me. I don't hate all trees.
What are you even talking about?
Oh, do I got a story for you? just yapping with him off at the distance.
Maybe don't tell the arcane botanist that you almost murdered one of the most valuable trees in existence.
He should be thankful. I brought a couple of those branches home.
Oh yeah, thank you for not killing. Teleportation circle.
You're welcome.
And on that note, our heroes teleport back to the Academy, and we end tonight's episode of Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.